Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyvis Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Welcome, everybody, to the ultimate Cleveland sports show. Along with Jason Lloyd and Tyvis Powell, I'm Adam the Bull. We got Steve, we got Mikey, we got Earl, and we've got Anthony behind the scenes today, and a lot to get to today, fellas. It is draft day. It's not the day it normally is for Browns fans, although it's been this way the last 3 years because the Browns
last year of it though.
Well, maybe
they trade. They're
what
not.
If they traded away?
Why would they do that?
You never know.
That would be
shocking.
First of all, I will be honest with you.
Yes.
I think that they wish they had their first round pick. Not saying that they don't wish they had Deshaun. That's not what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But I think
some days they wish they didn't have Deshaun.
Oh, stop it.
Recently, I think they wish they didn't have Deshaun.
Stop it. I'm not going. We're not even. We're not even going there.
I'm going there right now.
Go there.
No.
But I think that they missed the excitement of having that first round pick. But the good news is that they've done a great job of building this roster to where they don't really need that first round pick as of right now, I should say.
Jason, you excited about the draft even though the Browns not picking, or do you not care?
I don't care.
You don't care. You don't care about much.
This is true. It's my son's second game tonight and the Cavs playoff game. So I will be at his game watching the Cavs. I could care less about this draft.
Well, I mean, they're not.
Couldn't care less.
They're not doing anything today, so.
We got our first scrimmage.
Oh, big doings.
Yeah, our exhibition game.
Today?
Yeah.
Good luck.
It's going to be freezing.
Let me ask you guys this before we dive into a bunch of stuff today.
Yeah.
And I just put this in the YouTube chat. I'm curious what the YouTube chat's going to say. What do you think the majority of just Cleveland sports fans are watching tonight? The first round of the draft or Game 3?
Game 3.
Game 3.
Yeah.
No doubt.
If the Browns had a first-round pick,
it'd be Browns.
It'd be Browns.
Yeah, but you'd still watch the game, and then when the Browns are about to pick, you'd come on.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously football trumps basketball in this town, but fans don't care about fans care a little about what the Steelers and the Bengals and the Ravens do, but not enough to not watch a playoff game.
Right.
You'll pay attention to it.
No, they'll pay attention tomorrow from 7 to midnight on the Browns radio because Tyvis Powell will be on there from 7 p.m. to midnight, and then I will be on Saturday from 12 to 3. So make sure you tune in.
AKA state-run media. I'm sure there'll be heavy criticism if the Browns make a mistake on state-run media. Not that we would know.
How are you going to know if they make a mistake?
It's a draft, right? Yeah. Everybody's a genius this time of year.
More importantly, today's show 501 time.
We made it.
You and me.
And speaking of
Since
the
they
show,
didn't invite us yesterday, they didn't include us yesterday.
this show
You
has
and me
been
today.
nominated for the coveted Emmy. No, not the real Emmys you see on TV, but the local Emmy, goddammit, we want it.
Stop.
It's still an Emmy.
I'm sorry, regional Emmy.
It's a big deal.
The regional Emmy, we're up for it. It is a big deal.
Wait a minute. So countdown to kickoff. Is that who we going against?
Yes, that was an Indianapolis Colts kickoff show from a TV station in Indianapolis.
And how do they?
There's no way that's better than us.
How do they?
We're locked.
How do they announce?
There's no way some slappy in Indianapolis is better than this show. Come on.
Well,
Who's on that show? Greg Doyle, the guy who was inappropriate with Caitlin Clark?
Oh, the reporter. Y'all.
By the way, he apologized, and it's fine. People should get off his back, but it was still
It
creepy.
was a bad look. It was
bad.
I know Greg
Bad
a little
time.
bit. That was a
Yeah.
bad
time.
look.
He's had some other weird incidents too. He's an odd duck. But anyway, who we competing against? Because we're taking him out.
This came down at about 10:30 this morning, so
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I have not had a chance to do recon on the opponent. But it is cool to be nominated.
It is, and we're
UCSS
competing with
has
other
been
big
nominated.
markets in the Midwest like Chicago, which is the number 3 market in America. So they didn't even
Are
get
we in Chicago? Are we against Chicago?
Yeah, it's Great Lakes.
I never see them. I was scanned. Not that I pay attention.
Yeah,
to
we're
the
probably just pretending we're competing in Chicago. Let's go. Just go with it.
I scanned the list last
yeah.
year though, and I didn't see anything.
Nothing in
it was
Chicago.
like Indy and
I don't know if
Detroit
we're competing in Chicago, Mike.
Cleveland.
I'll confer with our
We're
Emmy
competing
expert.
against Indianapolis and Toledo, and we're taking them down, baby.
I'll confer with our Emmy expert, Steve Current, who
I'm
has
still confused by
more
the
than
whole
24
thing.
Emmys in his closet.
Steve, are we competing with Chicago? No.
See? Told you.
Okay, maybe not.
So the award comes down to us or Indianapolis?
Yes.
So that's it. There's just 2 people left.
That's it. Everybody else has been eliminated through the
kidding.
process. We are the 2 finalists.
Okay.
Just like with, the awards, you get down to the 3 finalists. In this case, there's only 2 finalists.
Oh,
It's us in Indianapolis, and we are going hand fighting with them.
I misread that. I thought actually we were going against KYC. But we are KYC.
No, we are KYC.
We are KYC.
I know, but I thought
with you.
But look see how that's I thought it was like our show and then a Browns Jaguars preview show.
That was the episode.
And then countdown.
You know what's
All
also
I haven't
funny, by the
even-
way?
Leave me alone.
Jason is one of those people. Jason's one of those people, I believe my buddy Anthony Lima,
Stop
Keith
ADD
Britton,
shaming me.
that say Jaguars. You say Jaguars.
Jaguars. Jaguar. What is it? Jaguar?
Jaguars.
You say Jaguars too?
What do you say?
There's no I in there.
Jaguars? What do you say?
Mike, go ahead, say it.
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Same thing. Jaguars.
Tomato,
There's
tomato.
no W in it either.
Tomato, tomato.
There ain't no
potato,
W in it.
All right,
potato.
say the name Aaron
Aaron?
Aaron.
and say Erin.
Aaron.
See, they
No,
say it exactly the
Aaron.
same.
Aaron.
That's a Midwest thing. Plus, a lot of people in Cleveland cannot tell the difference between a Boston and New York accent. They don't hear the difference.
Oh, my dad's
It's
from
so
Boston.
bizarre.
I can totally hear the difference.
Because Ken Carman used to do a Vin Scully impression, and he would do it with a Boston accent, and he thought I was crazy for telling him that.
Well,
He
I
couldn't
don't
tell
know.
the difference.
I don't know. I can totally tell the difference.
Okay.
Before we hop
Anyway.
into real topics, Jason and Tyvis, you were not here yesterday for show 500, so I just want to give you guys the floor real quick, 30
Yeah,
seconds
this is a fake
each,
topic. So
on
go ahead.
what'd you think? Because I know you guys tuned in for a little bit, and you guys are a big part of what we've done over the last 500 episodes.
Oh, now we're a big part.
Now they're a big part. They were ignored.
We invited you on, and you both said you had wanted nothing to do with it, so don't give me that
That's true.
crap.
You guys were both about enough.
That's
did. I'm just messing with
It
you.
was my day off, and I was going to enjoy my day off. No, I tuned in, though, for sure. It was nice to see Brad and Polk back on. Brad.
Did you see that thing Polk did?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
So funny.
It was good to be, obviously it's a blessing to always be a part of the UCSS, and I'm appreciative of everybody. And 500 shows went so fast. We have so much fun here just giving out content, and I love the fans, the interaction with the fans, the people that's in the chats all the time. I got some homeboys that's in the chat too, so it's always funny to see that. It's just been a really good show. It's a breath of fresh air to get out here, and I love the bond that we have amongst each other. We could talk about anything, whether it's on camera, off camera. We're the same people, so it's always good to have y'all, and I appreciate y'all for that. So, like Mike McNuggets say, to 5,000, here we come.
No, it's great. I tuned in yesterday, too. I watched as much as I could. I was in and out throughout the day. When this started, I was just cashing the checks and happy to take the money, and I don't know how long it was going to last. Didn't care how long it was going to last. Wasn't really invested. Was just happy to cash the checks. And it didn't take long to see, like, this is really cool. And I remember there was a moment where I wasn't sure how long this was going to go.
Yeah.
And then I remember, because I went through this with The Athletic. I went through a startup, and I know the process. And there was a point we got to where I thought, like, this is going to make it. Like, we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
And totally bought in, and I love doing this now.
It is so much fun.
Anytime Steve Becker texts me and says, can you fill in? I'm like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Like, it's 2 hours of fun.
Better than doing 5 hours on the radio.
Better than 5 hours on the radio. That's true. I remember I got to the end of a show with you one day. I was like, I think I'm going to black out
Yeah,
now
that's
after
right.
talking for 5
And
hours.
I'm pretty sure you get paid a lot more here than you get paid there. I think they've raised up the minimum wage these days, part-time on the fan.
Some of the people in here still go over there.
Sorry, I didn't say it. I mean, I did say it. I said it, not
First
you.
of all, I got to do 5 hours
Yeah.
tomorrow. 5
Look at
hours
you.
on the radio
5
tomorrow.
hours tomorrow.
Me, Nathan, and I think it's me, Nathan, and Ken.
By the way, did you see the top 5 funniest moments?
I didn't get to watch it because when I tuned in, I had got towards the end. I seen the titty one.
That's the one I got. That
seen
was
the
really
titty
fun.
one.
I had not seen that.
And then I seen the number one was the Joe Thomas. You was like, you didn't think that should have been number one. When McNuggets said
Would stab
stabbed.
you. I thought that was funny, but I wouldn't have had that at number 1.
Yeah, I seen that part.
I think I don't know which one I would have had number 1, but anyway, go
They're all
ahead.
funny. We're going to talk a lot about the Cavs today. We'll talk some
Yeah.
draft. We'll talk some Guardians. We're going to talk about Bulls, poverty franchise, and all that, and more coming up in just a second. But first,
Oh my God!
it's playoff
Nick
time
Carnes.
in the NBA.
Nick
and
Carnes
NA
cannot get enough of Bengals drama.
I'll
He was
repeat again.
so
The
excited about
Bengals
it.
are a poverty franchise, Bull. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every single game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150 win or lose. You can bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on an app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And today's winning ticket is a 13-part MLB moneyline parlay
Nice.
that all hit. Our guy Johnny Boy 05, Mets moneyline, Orioles moneyline, Red Sox moneyline, Reds moneyline, Brewers moneyline, Dodgers moneyline, Rays moneyline, Yankees moneyline, Braves moneyline, Royals moneyline, Twins moneyline,
He bet every
Cubs
game.
moneyline, Rangers moneyline, Padres moneyline. He bet $1 and won $780 on a 13-part moneyline parlay in Major League Baseball. So shout out to Johnny Boy
Johnny, you
05.
should have bet 50
for
bucks.
That's why I can't bet, because that's every time I win, I'm like, I should have bet more.
Right. Oh, my God.
That's
He had
impressive.
13 games.
That's
He like bet
impressive.
them all.
Yeah.
He probably
He
bet the whole
he
schedule.
bet every game. That's ballsy. That's
When was
ballsy.
this? What day of the week?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Because there were some teams off yesterday, wasn't there?
On Wednesday? Yeah, I think
Well, he
there
sent
were.
it in yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what day he made the bet.
Okay.
He sent it in yesterday. All right, guys, let's talk a little Cavs Magic. Game 3 is tonight.
Yeah.
The series shifts to Orlando, where the Magic have been significantly better at home this season than they have on the road. The Cavs lost both their playoff games in New York City last season. So, Jason, I'll start with you. How much of a difference will it make tonight for the Cavs playing in Kia Arena in Orlando as opposed to the comfy confines of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse?
It'll make a big difference for Orlando. Teams always shoot better at home, especially young teams. I'm sure
The
that
others.
was. What's that?
The others.
Yeah. The role players always feel a bit more comfortable at home. So I think it matters. I think it makes a difference. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. We talked about it before when I was in that. I don't think Cavs are playing that well. Doesn't mean they don't come out and play well tonight, but Orlando is just a mess right now offensively. So they clean up some of those issues, some of those wide open looks that we were talking about. I mean, they've had 44 wide open threes, and they made 11 of them. So if 3 or 4 more of those go in at home, it's a different game. So I'm curious to see the Cavs' response. No one's going to confuse Orlando with Madison Square Garden, but the Cavs did not. I didn't think that they performed well under the bright lights that Jared Allen was talking about of MSG. So just being on a road environment, it'll still be a good environment in that arena. I don't think I've been there. I've been to Orlando plenty of times. Obviously, never for a playoff game, so I don't know how much more excited it can get. It can get loud in there. So I think it will help Orlando more than it will hurt Cleveland, if that makes sense. But it absolutely makes a difference. Home court matters.
Home team's 13-3 in the playoffs. I think the 3 losses were the last 2 days.
Boston, the Clippers, and Milwaukee.
Yeah, Boston
So that's
lost to
3 teams
Miami
in the
last
playoffs.
night. The Clippers and Milwaukee lost 2 days ago. So I think home teams were 11-0 until the last 2 days.
Playoff series don't begin till the road team
Right.
wins. That's the old saying.
Well, so Orlando, this is their last chance to make it a series,
Yes.
obviously. If Orlando loses tonight, the series is over. No, in the NBA, nobody's ever come back down 3-0, right?
No, because Cavs were the first to do
3-1, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened in the NHL, I think, a couple of times. Baseball, obviously, it happened once.
Red
The
Sox.
Yankees, Red Sox against the Yankees. But, for the most part, nobody ever comes back down 3-0. So it's got to be tonight for Orlando. You think they're going to come out and play better?
Absolutely. Listen, I think that when you think about the home court advantage, the crowd will be into it for sure, and those role players will step up. I think it's a big deal for the Cavs, though, because, like you say, the lights were bright last year for them. I think to really be that team that we expect them to be, you got to beat a team when you know that they're going to come out and give you everything they got. This right now is a must-win game for Orlando. And if you go out there and you just completely down that and they can just destroy them then that tells me that they got that killer instinct, that they are really focused and they are a really locked in team. So I'm really looking at the Cavs tonight. We've been talking about how offensively they haven't been that great. What do you do when you're not at home, when the crowd is against you, when you're the villain? How do you respond to those? Because a guy like me, I love it. I embrace it. There's nothing better than silencing the crowd. Hit a 3, turn around and tell the crowd to be quiet and sit down. That's the best feeling in the world. If the Cavs pull that type of energy tonight, then I'm excited for the next round and when they go up against Boston or whoever. It's Boston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Whatever.
Could be
Well,
Miami.
1-1. Yeah, it could be
I
Miami.
guess you're right about
Boston,
that. I didn't even think about
There's
that.
like a fundamental flaw with Boston.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the
If
coach or
Boston lose to Miami in the first round, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be some furniture moving in Boston. Everybody's
You
gone.
think?
Everybody's gone. The whole team is breaking up.
I think we will find out a lot about the Cavaliers tonight because some teams, especially less experienced teams, and the Cavs have some playoff experience, but they're not that experienced.
Well,
in the
some of
playoffs.
their guys, Niang, Strus,
Those
Tristan,
guys.
they've brought in a lot of guys with a lot of experience.
But the key guys in this team have not done a lot of winning in the playoffs.
yeah, fair.
And what I'm curious is, because sometimes you'll see a team go up 2-0, and then they get lackadaisical for game 3 because they feel like the series is in hand, and maybe it's hard to keep that energy up. But so I'm looking for that, and just the fact that, as you said, Jason, they have not played that well.
Yeah.
They've played okay, but this has been more about Orlando being awful than the Cavs playing great.
Yeah.
And so the Cavs have no right to walk into this game like, oh, we've got this. They need to be, they should be like, well, we haven't played well enough. We got to play
Especially
better.
offensively. They've been fine defensively.
Yeah, defensively they've been fine, but offensively they've been pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see them come in and keep their foot on the gas and finally show you more offensively. Jared Allen has been great, and Donovan Mitchell's been great in the first quarter of these games, but they've been sloppy with the ball. I'd like to see them clean that up, and if they do, yeah, they could win this game tonight and win the series.
I want to
basically.
know if Suggs is going to be on Mitchell. That's the first thing I want to see. And then the second,
think so tonight.
And
right?
then in a must win, you got to. And then another thing, obviously, what was his injury? Didn't he he
Knee,
rolled
right?
his ankle?
Left
Suggs?
knee
Yeah.
sprain
Knee.
was the
I
official
mean, they carried him off
diagnosis.
like Daniel LaRusso.
I know, and then he ended up
And
coming
then
back
Mr. Miyagi gave him
it's
one
like
of these.
just like Paul Pierce
and
type
then he
thing.
came back in.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But I want to see
Yeah.
I want to see that matchup because I believe that's the adjustment that has to be made. And then I want to see if Evan Mobley still hits threes away.
Yeah.
You know, it's different
Yeah.
at home hitting it. And then Okoro, we seen you do this famous step back three, which I still can't believe you hit that shot. If you do that in Orlando against them in their place, like that tells me that y'all for real. Like y'all really are about shooting like y'all say, like y'all been portraying in these first two games. So those are kind of the three things, or the three players, I should say, that I'm looking at tonight.
First 5 minutes will be very telling because Orlando has stressed fast starts, and they have not gotten off to a fast start in either one of these games. The Cavs punched first. I hate that cliche of who's going to hit first and all that crap. But it's true. But being at home, and to your point, I do think Suggs is on Donovan tonight because Donovan is what has staked the Cavs to these early leads, and you have to do everything you can to corral him. If the Cavs go up, 12-3 in the first 3 or 4 minutes of this game, that's major, major problems for Orlando. I actually expect Orlando to get out to a fast start tonight, expect them to go up early. Cavs are the ones burning an early timeout, settling things down, and then you get into the game. But if the Cavs do this again, if they go up double figures within the first few minutes again, that's a massive problem for Orlando because, number one, they don't have the firepower, and number two, they keep stressing we got to get off to a fast start, and they haven't been able to do it yet.
Quick sidebar, because you mentioned Paul Pierce, it made me think of this. Did you guys see this? I can't remember if it was The Athletic or ESPN.
He got voted for to
The
be a
Athletic.
GOAT.
Yeah, it was The Athletic.
Somebody-
They did this anonymous poll of players.
Of GOATs.
Who's the greatest of all time. And the first few years they did it, Jordan beat LeBron by a lot. This year was very close. Jordan still beat LeBron, but it was very close. But Paul Pierce got one vote. People were saying he voted, but it's current players.
Current players.
It's someone just joking.
Just messing around?
Yeah,
Listen.
that's
He
ridiculous.
said he thinks it's LeBron voted for him because he's so critical of LeBron.
Yeah.
And he might be right. Like it,
LeBron
It's
Petty.
like kind of humiliating, because it's humiliating for him.
because LeBron did that to Kevin a few
Yeah.
years ago when they were teammates. And I can't remember. Kevin had just said like he thought Russ was the MVP or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, I remember that.
And then somebody asked LeBron something about some great something, and he said Kevin.
Yeah.
And so when Paul mentioned it might have been LeBron, I
Yeah.
remembered back to that. I'm like, you know what? You might be
is.
right. It
Right.
might have been LeBron.
I think there was one vote for Magic,
I don't remember now.
which certainly is a more credible vote than
I'm surprised
Paul
that
Pierce.
that's the case. These youngins today.
Yeah. There was no votes for Giannis there.
That's because they don't understand basketball. That's my whole point.
Let
Right
me
there.
ask you
That's
guys
exactly
this.
my
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
As we get ready for Game 3, the Cavs have won both games by double digits.
Yeah.
It frankly has never gotten that close. In Game 2, it got down to 10 points, and you thought it may become a game, but it hadn't.
In Game 2, in the second quarter, it was closer.
In the fourth quarter, it got down to 10, but never
in the
became
fourth
like,
quarter, in the fourth
never
quarter.
became, oh my goodness.
No.
It's
They were one shot away from, oh my goodness, but they missed it.
never got there. But tonight, according to FanDuel, and Steve, you take this full, the Cavs are 2.5-point underdogs. You buying that?
I'm
Should
taking
Orlando
that
be
to the
favored,
bank.
or because what we saw in the first two games, despite the game being in Orlando,
Yeah.
should the Cavs be the favorites?
I think Orlando should be favored. I think the mistake that people, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen in this case, but the mistake that people make, or what I don't know if you believe it, but what you just said, that each game is an independent thing, and you never know what goes into guys' mindsets in each game. And as we know, home and road is a huge deal in the NBA, unlike a lot of other sports. And so we've seen countless times a team look great in the first two games of a series and go on the road and lose. Even with LeBron.
Yeah.
Was it Toronto? What was that series where they were up 2-0 and we all thought it would be a sweep and they went and lost two straight on the road?
Oh,
I
can't say what I want to say.
I know.
They were happy to go back to Toronto. They didn't.
Oh, they were. That was Toronto, right?
Yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking, it's the year they won the championship.
You never know what's motivating a team or
Yeah.
what's happening.
I don't want to say they threw a playoff game.
Yeah, but they threw a playoff. Is what he's trying to say.
They were.
But anyway, like it's
were happy to
different
go
home
back.
road for a variety of reasons. So I don't know that. I don't.
There's
I don't,
also a desperation factor for Orlando.
And this
they
is a
know
4-5
their entire
series.
season's on the line.
Yeah, just because the Cavs have been the much better team in the first two games doesn't mean they're definitely going to be that in the third game.
No, and it's easy, especially up 2-0. Mike Miller used to talk about this. If you win a playoff game, you feel like you're never going to lose again. And to the players,
Right.
players feel like
Yes, so they
we're
can
winning a
take it lightly
championship.
going into this game.
And if you lose a playoff game,
Yeah.
you feel like you're never going to win again. Like there
Right.
is such an emotional swing, even for the players involved.
Yeah.
That of course 2-0, you feel like, well, yeah, you can't be beat. But no, that's just not true.
Question is, why are the playoff games? Are they all on NBA TV?
No, just the Cavs so far.
Why?
Because it's the.
Because it's the Magic and the Cavs.
So what?
Who cares? Nobody cares nationally about the Magic and the Cavs. It's the least popular series.
It bothers me because on YouTube TV,
Yeah.
it's blacked out.
You should still
You
be
can
able
watch
to
it
get
on,
it
but you
Bally's.
can't get Bally's on YouTube TV.
Right, but if you can watch
I have
it-
the problem of I got Fubo because I wanted Bally's.
Yeah.
The only thing Fubo doesn't have is TNT.
Oh, gee.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to have to get YouTube TV also when the Cavs are on TNT.
But if you could watch the Cavs during the regular season, you should be able to watch it.
so how are you watching the Cavs during the regular season?
They was on national TV.
So you
are you
didn't get the
talking-
local Bally's games?
No.
Okay, well then you're screwed.
Then you're out of luck.
Yeah, no kidding. But you know what? The good news is I got my dad's direct TV account. So
There you go.
I don't understand why it's blacked out. On Fubo, I was able to watch it on NBA TV or Bally's. I had the choice, and I watched it on NBA TV. But
I tried to watch it on what they play Saturday. I tried to watch it on my phone on YouTube TV on my phone. And
We're out of luck.
said it was
We're not
blacked out.
connected to Bally's in any way, right?
No.
Before I kill him.
No, their app is
It's the
worst.
worst app in the history of the
It's a
world.
trash ass app. It
Oh
is
my
the
God.
Nestor
You
Cortez of
sound-
streaming apps. It is just
Nestor Cortez?
he's
Not
a
that
trash ass pitcher.
That's what the
With
mayor.
that-
The mayor came here and said the same thing.
It is awful.
It's
I
the
was
worst.
so angry the other day. I was trying to watch the Guardians on the app, and I kept getting these error messages. I'm like, this is the biggest. No wonder
God.
the company's in bankruptcy. No wonder it's a punchline.
They're a clown show.
Like, could we just get rid of them once and for all and just be done? Oh, like it's
Hopefully soon in the next year or two. It's a joke. But no, I don't have a problem with the Magic being favored. And it's easy to just think, like the players do, as you just said, Jason. As a fan, you feel the same way.
yeah. Oh yeah, even more so.
Like right now, the fans are,
Sweep.
fellas, give me a sweep.
Sweep.
But I'll tell you this, if the Magic win tonight, there'll be panic from some fans. Look, we didn't play. All of a sudden, it'll be, we didn't play well in the first two games.
No.
Now we lost.
Yang
We're
and
home for
Strus
game
have to
4.
make shots. Why aren't they making shots?
Let's fire JB again, which he should be fired, but you're not saying that after two games. But there you go, Mike. All right, what do you got for us?
I do have one last question on the Cavs. We'll do a little film breakdown, then we'll talk Guardians and draft. Brad was in here yesterday, and Brad talked about he thinks the Cavs have developed a killer instinct. And if they have a killer instinct, they'll step on the Magic throat tonight and end the series essentially 3-0. And obviously it's a 7-game series. You got to win 4, but you go up 3-0. A team's never come back from that. Tyvis, do you think the Cavs, from what you've seen up to this point, have developed that kind of killer instinct yet? Or are you still out on whether or not the Cavs have done that?
Have the Cavs developed a killer instinct? I tell you what, I'm not ready to say that they have just yet. I tell you what, they can change that thought tonight. I just think that the way that they've been winning is like we said, it's been off of fast starts, but like hitting daggers in the fourth quarter to like seal the deal. Like I don't necessarily think I think they're capable of it. I don't think that they've done it and shown it over time that that's who they are. But obviously, if they go out there and they do that tonight, then that's that they have to live by that for the rest of the time. I think it's in them. I don't think that's who they are, though. If that makes sense.
Jason,
I don't think this series will allow you to declare that one way or the other. Go win a game in the Garden.
Yeah,
go win game 1 in Boston Garden. Go win game 2 in Boston. Win one of those games in the Garden, and then we'll have that conversation.
Jason, they go out there and they beat them by like 25 tonight.
It's Orlando.
I don't care.
It's not. But here's the thing. I said it earlier.
That's shutting the door on
Orlando is not the Garden.
You're right about that.
So Boston Garden, pretty damn close to MSG.
Garden.
Boston is an unbelievable venue
or
for a playoff game.
Miami
ain't got no fans.
Well, that's where they might be playing at.
Well, that's where they might be playing at.
By the way, you think your phones are not listening to you? Just a minute ago, I said I'm gonna have to get YouTube TV also. Look at the recent email I just got.
All-Star game notes. Great meeting, Adam.
Oh.
YouTube TV.
I just got an email from YouTube TV. I mean,
did you have them in the past and you switched to football?
I did, but I haven't gotten an email from them in a while. All of a sudden,
one of my son's friends.
Yeah.
His dad is a retired Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
He covers the camera on his phone with tape.
All right.
Just saying.
Well, it still can hear you, though.
Well, maybe he does something to the audio.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he doesn't take pictures.
By the way, the Cavs have clearly not proven that they have a killer instinct. There's no doubt. Now, they have showed a level of toughness in this series that they did not show last year. I think we'd all agree on that.
Yes.
That's a step forward.
It's trending in the right direction.
Yes. But I agree with Tyvis. I think if they put their foot on the throat of the Magic and win this game tonight, because they win tonight, you're going to win in 4 or 5, whatever.
Clearly, they know right now we're better than them.
Yes.
So go out there, leave, no doubt. Let it just, don't even play around with it. Just get it over with so you can get some rest.
It's like, remember the Titans when the defensive coordinator, leave no doubt. I don't want to see them get another yard.
Yeah, we blitz all night. And if they get another yard, I swear to God, I'll take every last one of you out.
Well done, Coach Yost. All right, go ahead.
But you know what? What you just said, though, is an interesting point. Not that this is the 2016 team, but one of the reasons that championship era, it was one championship, but that 4-year run, they had so much playoff success is because they swept everybody.
Yeah.
And then they went home
and
sat on the couch and watched everybody else. They had so much time off between each series. It was a huge benefit. So to that point, you guys are right. If you can, I'm not saying they're going to, but if you can get a sweep and let Boston and Miami beat the hell out of each other for a week and a half, that's a big advantage, especially as we talk about Donovan and the knee and everything else. That's a huge advantage to them if they can get that.
It starts tonight. If they beat them tonight, the Magic is out of it. The only way they'll be playing in Game 4 is, we want to have a little bit of respect and decency. But at the end of the day, we got our Cancun trip planned already. We already know what time it is.
All right, Mike.
We're going to break down some film in one sec, but first a word from LinkedIn. Whether you're hiring for small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role, that's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. UCSS was a lucky exception. We found Anthony and Earl without using LinkedIn Jobs, but for the most part, if you're not using LinkedIn Jobs, you're missing out on the best candidates available. LinkedIn isn't just a job board, though. It helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who are actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites, so if you're not looking on LinkedIn, You're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So earlier this week on the Ultimate Cav Show, Jason and I did a new segment called Good Cav, Bad Cav. Essentially, good cop, bad cop. We took a side, we argued for it, and it came up in the discussion whether or not the Cavs are playing good defense or the Magic's offense is just that bad, and they've missed that many shots. And Jason made the point, and the Wheel of Fate determined he was going to be the bad Cav on this one, that the defense has been fine, but Orlando just can't buy an open shot. And the numbers do back that up. But then, Jason, I went through and I was looking. I wasn't sure if the shots the Cavs were allowing Orlando to take were by design or just a functionality of their offense and then just missing. So are the Cavs allowing and forcing, not forcing, but are they giving up and living with Orlando taking open shots? Or is it good defense and Orlando's running their offense properly, just not executing with the finish of a shot? And Jason, I went back and looked at some film. And I think you're wrong on this one. I thought you were wrong in the moment, and I think you're even more wrong now.
All right. Wow.
Got a couple examples I'm going to show you guys. This is all from Game 2 of some elite defensive efforts from the Cavs. 5 guys moving in unison, executing their defensive assignments almost to a T to how JB Bickerstaff wants. And JB Bickerstaff and his staff deserve credit for preparing their team and preparing the 5 guys on the court to play in unison like this. So this is a possession. There's no spotlight, Steve. You take this whenever you're ready. You can't play defense better than the Cavs did on this particular possession. The ball goes out, great help side. It's going to flash around. Paolo drives. You got a good closeout from Karras. Cole Anthony shot. That's not considered an open shot. That's not one of the ones NBA.com tracks as a quote-unquote open shot. But look at the movement of 5 guys creating chaos, hands in passing lanes. There's not an opening for Orlando to attack from. And I don't think you could ask for a better defensive effort from 5 guys than on this one particular play. Jason, I want to let you to comment before we move on to the next one, but that's about picture-perfect defense.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, let's let it play one more time. There's like 4 guys in the paint almost that entire possession. Why?
Because they don't think
Because they can't shoot. Because there's no threat. If they had competent shooting on the outside and they had guys that they feared, I don't know that you would see 3-4 guys standing in the paint. But to Mike's point, they're playing terrific.
They're doing that on purpose.
Yeah, they're packing the paint and they're giving up the perimeter. But Orlando doesn't have the perimeter threats to scare them, which is what allows them to do that.
100% agree. And that's what I'm saying. I think the execution defensively, their game plan is to let Orlando shoot.
If I said the Cavs weren't playing well defensively, then that's a mistake on my part. My whole point is Orlando doesn't have the – I think I said this. I wrote it, I know, the other day. There is no shooter on Orlando that the Cavs fear. None. Not one.
That's a fact.
So that allows them to pack this paint, give up the perimeter. And if these guys want to shoot from the outside and they make them, the Cavs are going to live with that because the odds, the law of percentages is on their side that they're going to miss way more than they make even on those wide open shots. So that's what's allowing them to pack the paint. I do think the Cavs are playing well defensively. You say that.
Yeah.
I just think the lack of threat on the perimeter allows the Cavs to play this style and allows them to really tie up the interior.
It's going to be interesting, assuming they make it to the next round because Magic are probably, correct me if I'm wrong, the Magic are probably the only team in the playoffs that you can do this to, right?
Not necessarily, but they are the worst shooting team in the playoffs.
Who else could you do it with?
You can pick and choose your battles against Milwaukee outside of Dame. I don't think any of those guys truly scare you as a threat, but
he ain't playing. Settle down.
When's he supposed to be back, by the way, Giannis?
Next series.
If they make it.
Stop it.
Without him, are they a sure thing?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
All right, so here's the second play. To Jason's point, I do think this is defensively designed. And they've been going under every screen, essentially asking Orlando to shoot the ball. This play's going to rotate a couple times. Jason, we talk about individual defense. We talk about giving up shots that you want them to shoot.
Yeah.
Well, this replays again from the get-go. The Cavs go under on the screen, and it's going to leave Jalen Suggs open on the top.
So explain under on the screen because I think a lot of people probably don't know what that means.
when it goes back, I'll explain it again. But watch this individual defense from Jared Allen. This is the effort that you need from your center on a point guard.
Yep.
Now, Max Strus gets out of position here. Franz Wagner gets a backdoor cut. But there is Evan Mobley sagging in the paint, waiting exactly for that situation.
So see how Evan runs behind Donovan on that? That's going under the screen. It's when you don't fight, when you don't try and stay with your guy and go over the screen, or when you go behind him. And it's essentially giving them a three-point shot because you're trying to cut off the drive.
Did Mobley block that shot?
He contested. He didn't block.
All right, because it looked like Wagner had a good look at the basket there, no?
It's a decent look, but you're trying to shoot over Evan Mobley, who's number-wise is one of the best rim protectors in the NBA.
Like, you'll
once
take
again,
that as
he
the
goes
Cavs.
under on. You go under on Paolo because you're not scared about Paolo shooting the pull-up three.
Right.
But here's the real impressive part. Jared Allen recovering, staying in front of Jalen Suggs on 2 separate occasions, and then having the defense in the paint to collapse. This is exactly what you ask for. And once again, that's a ton of space. Suggs is Mitchell's guy. Mitchell then goes to the corner, recover, picks up Allen's guy. Jarrett cuts off the drive. Cuts off the second drive. Max Strus can't get caught looking here. He's got to sag back, play a little more on the shooter. But there's Evan. Perfect help position.
Evan's there to clean it up.
That is a
That's his job.
perfect defensive possession from the Cavs and what they're trying to force. All right, let's go to the next one, Steve. We'll keep moving. The Cavs are going to go under again here. This time it's Karis LeVert going under. They're trying to keep George Niang on Paolo Banchero. Watch Isaac Okoro on the bottom of the screen. We're going to spot shadow this in a sec. Great defense. And that's a hell of a steal from Isaac Okoro coming from his weak side help. LeVert goes under. That allows him to stay on the ball handler. They're not worried about the stop and shot from Jalen Suggs. Niang funnels Paolo to the baseline. There's not a lot of room to work there. Jared Allen's perfect help position. He's stuck. Isaac says, give me that. I'm going the other way. He ends up finishing for an and-one layup. Once again, the Cavs are packing the paint, forcing and begging Orlando to try and shoot the ball. Orlando can't make shots, and the other 4 guys in the perfect help position recovering, moving as one unit. You can afford to allow them to shoot if the guys on the weak side are going to cut off passing lanes and help. Because if Okoro's not there, it's a wide-open 3 for Joe Ingles.
Right.
Because Isaac's there, that's 2 points the other way for Cleveland. Jason?
Joe Ingles would have missed that shot anyway.
Well, I'm watching Orlando try and balance the floor, and it looks like they're having problems even
they're a mess.
properly balancing the floor. I mean, again, if I said the Cavs were playing badly defensively, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
I just think it's the way that Orlando is structured offensively and their personnel allows the Cavs to do this. But to your point about playing great defense, they're playing great.
And for the record, the Wheel of Fate gave Jason the bad Cav on that option. So he didn't actually – he was forced to that.
This was also a bad decision. No, shouldn't he have hit the guy coming to him? I don't know who that is, but –
Hit who?
Let's watch it again. You're saying Paolo when he tries to kick across court. The shot clock's running.
There's somebody that runs up the sideline there.
He's doubled. You mean the guy coming down the lane?
No. After this. Now, he's cutting towards that sideline. That guy. He should have passed it to that guy. No?
You have no – we're talking about Wendell Carter
Wendell
Jr.
Carter?
there.
I can't see
Number
him.
34,
Yeah.
Wendell Carter.
You have no angle there, Bull.
Yeah, that's
he's
a
stuck.
turnover. That's
That
a
is
turnover.
exactly where you want to force any offensive player. If you get an offensive player to pick up his dribble in that spot, the defense wins 100 out of 100 times. Let's go to the next clip, Steve. We got 2 more here. This was just a great overall team defensive effort. Check out the effort from Darius Garland, by the way. Screen, it's a switch. He gets caught out of position. He goes back, finds his guy. The Cavs rotating around, cut off the drive. Once again, Jared Allen on Jalen Suggs forces a turnover. There's Donovan for the steal, and this ends up with a end-of-shot clock chuck from Paolo Banchero. The Cavs as a unit are moving in unison right now. We've shown 4 different possessions. You find me an open angle. You find me something. You find me some area for Orlando to attack. It doesn't exist right now. That's partly because their personnel is not capable of beating Cleveland's defenders off the dribble. It's partly because they don't have the personnel to force Cleveland not to pack the paint and beat them with threes. But it's also a testament and a kudos to the Cavs for executing a defensive game plan to perfection through 2 games. Yeah. And these were just 4 plays. I could have picked 40 more from the first 2 games that dictate and show the same kind of defensive effort in unison.
And this will travel on the road. Like what he's showing here,
sure,
that'll play the same because obviously Orlando's personnel is the same. Now, again, they are leaving some shooters open, and if those go in at home that weren't falling on the road, that's how Orlando comes back to win.
And we talked about going under, right? The Cavs are going under every screen in this series. You can do that if the other team can't shoot. If the team can shoot, it's scary going under, which we'll see in Steve the next clip when you want to take it. The Magic tried going under Darius Garland a couple times.
Yep.
And this is real quick. This is a real quick play. You go under, it leaves an open pull-up 3. Darius in the third quarter specifically took advantage of it. Donovan's taken advantage of it a few times. Now, they tried setting the screen a little lower, so when they go under, you're stepping right into a 3. They've run a lot of their offense from higher up in the half-court set to create more space when they're switching and they're dropping. But once the Cavs realized the Magic were comfortable going under on Darius Garland, I'll show you another play in 1 sec. That's an easy read for Darius, a very easy read for Darius. And what he just did on this play is what Orlando is incapable of doing on the other end of the court.
Hey, do you have – sorry to throw a curve. If the answer is no, that's all right. Do you have the clip that you showed during our podcast of how they were starting the offense so high up with the two of them? Because I thought that was really telling.
I'll get to – not exactly, but I have a different one. Steve, let's go to the next one real quick. So that was the first 3 from Darius Garland. This is in the fourth quarter. This is such a smart play by Darius. Joe Ingles is the worst defender on the court, right? There's probably 9 good defenders on the court, and Joe Ingles is the worst one on Orlando. When he comes off this screen, he sees that Joe Ingles is standing there to cut off the passing lane. He doesn't force it. He's patient. He forces Joe Ingles to try and catch him on the perimeter.
Yep.
That ain't going to happen. It's a great screen by Isaac Okoro when you watch it again. He forces Cole Anthony, who's chasing him here, to take a bad route to essentially go under this screen. And at this point, it's one-on-one with Joe Ingles. Darius, he's maybe not make every shot, but that's exactly the aggressiveness and the right matchup, to attack coming off this screen.
And that's just a read and react on Darius's part.
Correct.
Is that Cole Anthony, you said?
Yeah, Cole Anthony. This is not Jalen Suggs.
Wasn't that kind of a lazy – I'm like, couldn't he have gotten to Darius quicker? He didn't look like he's working that hard there.
Watch the screen again. Isaac gets him with a pretty good screen.
Yeah.
He stumbles, but their coverage in this part of the game was to go under. So if you watch his angle, he takes like a banana cut. Isaac gets him with a good screen. That's a body on body.
Is that a moving pick?
They're all a little bit moving.
Yeah.
He ends up going under Joe Ingles because he expects Joe to force him out, fan him out to the sideline. Joe is not quick enough to keep him there. And by the time he recovers, it's an open look for Darius. So that's how they did it. Now, in the fourth quarter, the last play I want to show you guys. Steve, take the next one. Orlando started switching everything in the fourth quarter. Now, this was the third. They utilized this more in the fourth. And when they started switching everything, they had more success at keeping the Cavs out of the paint. The Cavs are going to end up scoring on this possession. And Darius is going to make a nice play with the shot clock running out here. He's going to drive baseline and find Jared Allen, who makes a really nice flash and finish. But they had more success switching than they did trying to go under, and I'd expect to see that more today.
Yep.
They switch. Paolo guards Darius up top. He's playing close enough to deter the shot attempt, big enough to deter the drive. Suggs on Strus. That's a tough matchup for the Cavs. It's not going to be that exact same cross matchup every time, but this is more of an individual really good play by Darius and Jarrett to create a good look. I would expect to see a lot more traps, a lot more switches tonight from Orlando in Game 3.
And the danger with that is you're switching a small onto, like, after Evan made those early threes, Orlando was switching, and they had a lot of times they ended up with a guard on Evan in the post, and that's when Evan went to work inside the post after he hit those early threes. So if you can get Evan on a guard or Jared on a guard, you can get a lot of inside looks, which is obviously helpful when the other team can't make threes.
Nice job, Mike. Excellent
And
breakdown.
by the way, if you haven't watched our Cavs podcast, that's all Mike does. It's all film. Like, he does an unbelievable
film breakdown
job.
nerd. I love it.
He is like, no, this is no BS. He is the best basketball mind in Cleveland right now. He is. In terms of,
I was going with Sam Amico, but
I would take Mike. I would take Mike. He played Division III, and by the way, I don't think I'm letting any secrets out. I want to try and actually do this story this summer in Summer League, where Mike went to college, is littered with NBA guys. Like, it's like a pipeline.
So bizarre.
So Mike knows his stuff, man. Like, he
does. That was a great breakdown on all those plays.
And if you're ever interested, like, as the Cavs hopefully progress and advance throughout the series, he does a ton of these clips and breakdowns. If you're a basketball fan, Mike is the best going right now in Cleveland.
All seriousness, nobody else is doing that in town.
No.
And we got that covered. We have Tyvus doing the football breakdowns, and we got Mike doing the basketball breakdowns.
We actually got a tweet this. Jason, I appreciate the kind words. We actually got a tweet this morning.
And I don't ever compliment anybody.
That's true.
I know. I do really, really appreciate that. But we got a tweet this morning, Bull, asking if you were going to ever break down Guardians footage, because someone says, I watched the Ultimate Cavs show. I like what Mike and Jason do. I watched the Brown show, and G and Tyvus do some of that. So are you ever going to break down Guardians?
Come on,
Did
pitching
somebody
ninja.
really ask that question?
And I'll put it on tag board, yes. We got a tweet. It'll take me. Here it is right here. I'm sending it to you as we speak.
I mean,
But yes.
Does
Yup.
anybody
The answer
do
is
that
no.
for baseball?
Yes. Pitching ninja.
I can't do pitching. I don't know the mechanics of pitching well enough.
No, pitching
I
ninja.
could do it for hitting.
Pitching ninja just does like the swords and the nasty breaking balls.
Right,
and
right.
Are you
sliders
not
and that.
going to give the fans what they want?
I mean, if people want, I guess I can do that for hitting. Maybe Zach can.
I'll show you the
Zach
tweet
about it.
after I do a recap.
I can't do
We're
it for
gonna talk
pitching.
Guardians
I'm not.
Just
I
steal
never
the pitching.
pitched.
Just steal the pitching.
I
ninja
do it.
tweets.
I do it for offense.
I can do it for hitting.
All right, well, maybe we'll talk about that in a sec because we are talking Guardians. But first, you guys know I'm a competitive person. We know it's true, and while I do have a competitive side, I love the fact that it comes out in a big way on Monopoly Go. By now, I'm sure you heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's a great twist on Monopoly where you play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big-time money. The best part? It's messing with my friends. I can charge them rent on my iconic properties just like classic Monopoly, but I can also now rob their vaults of riches for myself. And the leaderboards show me who the biggest Monopoly tycoon truly is. It's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with friends and people all around the world in time tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get it on the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go now for free on the App Store or Google Play. And just to prove that I was right, not that we would lie to you, Bull, but Grape Jelly, at Grape Jelly 91440 tweeted us this morning. Can at Adam the Bull break down Guardians film during his Guardian show? I'm learning a lot on Cavs and Brown shows.
Okay.
So, Bull, I was not kidding.
Yeah, all
now
right.
The pressure's
I
on.
mean, you don't think about that as much with baseball. They don't do that as much. But yeah, I guess we could. And I actually got somebody in mind that maybe. Yeah. So I take my son. I know Jason knows about T3. It's a place out in Avon. Mm-hmm. They do a great job. They have baseball lessons, football. They now added volleyball and basketball there
Former
too.
Ohio State linebacker Mike DeAndrea founded it.
Yes.
It's in Avon?
It's Avon. Avon. Yeah.
They do a
Do
phenomenal job.
you
with
know
all
if a
sports.
guy by the name of Raheem Mostert used to work out there?
Raheem Mostert used to work there.
Raheem Mostert used to live in Cleveland.
the running back?
The running back.
I didn't know that.
So Raheem's wife is from the area.
Yeah.
And he's from Florida. He wanted to move back to Florida. She wanted to stay up here. So him being a good husband, he decided to buy land here. They recently sold it because he's in Miami now. But I had worked out with Raheem back, this had to be like 2019, 2018, something like that. He had said, come on over here, come to my spot and work out with me. And it was, I think that might be the name of it.
Their head of football operations is a guy who, remember the Cleveland Gladiators, the arena team?
Oh, yeah.
The year they went to the Arena Bowl, they had a really good receiver by the name of Colin Taylor.
Don't know him.
Anyway, he's a nice guy. I called some games for them, so he's a really good dude. I think he played college in Indiana. He runs their football ops there. They got a great baseball program. And actually, yesterday, my son is a third baseman mostly, but he's got a good arm. So I wanted him to work with a pitch. We work with this guy, Michael Burke, a lot. We do hitting and fielding with him. Michael played in the minor leagues for the Orioles. He went to Ignatius, and he played minor league ball for the Orioles. But yesterday I had him work with his other coach, J.D. Hammer, who actually spent 2 years in the big leagues with the Phillies, about maybe 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And he's also from the area. Anyway, maybe I can get him on the show and do some, because it was really cool. When my son went for the pitching lesson yesterday, he took video of the beginning of the lesson and the end of the lesson, and even in that half hour, he made some big progress on his mechanics. It was pretty interesting.
I record each one of AJ's hitting lessons.
Yeah,
I have
good.
hours now of film of him of his swing. So
got to hit that changeup.
Working on it. 30 minutes yesterday on nothing but off speed.
Game 2 tonight.
Game 2 tonight.
All right, good luck.
Speaking of baseball, Bull, the Guardians lost to the Red Sox last night, but that's not what I want to focus on for our Guardians discussion.
That was
today.
a bad game.
We got news that Gavin Williams is being shut down for another couple of days as he continues to rehab from his injury. Stevie, take back word full whenever you're ready. This is from our guy Zach, who does the Ultimate Guardian show with Bull. Gavin Williams experienced a reoccurrence of elbow soreness after his most recent outing. He'll get an injection and be shut down for 7 days before resuming his throwing program. So how worried are we, guys, about Gavin Williams and his eventual return to the Guardians rotation?
I think it's a major concern.
Very concerned.
Y'all might have to say.
It's a big-time concern. The fact that was supposed to be back in a couple of weeks, it's already been a month, and now he has more, there's been no progress here.
Yeah.
In fact, it's worse. There's been a setback.
Yeah, and the Guardians are famous for downplaying injuries.
Oh, big time, yeah.
In the beginning. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the guy's headed for surgery, and you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, I thought this was nothing. So until he's on the mound in a game with the lights on, yeah, I'm very concerned. He heard it with a weighted ball, apparently, during a workout in Arizona, which, again, I just wonder, with all of the new ways of training, if we're hurting guys in the long run. I don't know. I have no medical basis for that.
I mean, it's a disaster this year. The injuries in baseball are through the roof.
Yeah.
There's a variety of reasons for it. We won't really get into, but I can't believe how many guys are on the injured list right now. It is crazy. Every team, I mean, it's not just certainly every team is dealing with it. There's teams that have 10, 12 guys on the injured list right now. But this is a major concern. And listen, there's no panic. The Guardians, despite the loss yesterday, are playing excellent baseball. They still have the best record in baseball as we head towards the end of April. But Jason, and so they don't have to panic and make a rush move here. But here's the bottom line. The Guardians, if they are going to remain contenders this year, and right now, obviously they are because they got the best record in baseball, they are going to have, even before this Gavin Williams setback, I thought they needed to, at some point, trade for a pitcher, most likely. There is no doubt they're going to have to trade for a pitcher if they're serious about winning.
Who was going to be out of the lineup when Gavin came back, out of the rotation?
Probably Cookie.
Okay.
Or Lively.
Ben
But
Lively.
Lively's pitched well in his first
Lively has pitched well.
But you can't, right now they're relying on Carrasco, Ben Lively. I know he's pitched great, but he's a journeyman for a reason.
What about Curry? Is he going to pitch again?
He's in the minors right now, but he's
a marginal prospect.
He's like Ben Lively, basically. I think he's of that ilk. I probably like him potentially a little more, but you don't want to rely on Xavier Curry.
Xavier Curry's a lot closer to. He's in the Logan Allen realm and probably below.
But Logan Allen's a back end of the rotation pitcher, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is.
And Tristan McKenzie's arm's not right.
Right.
So
we need some.
They've got a problem in the rotation. Again, not panic time, but it's something they're going to have to address at some point this season.
Get Savali back.
They have. Listen, they're at this point. All their legitimate pitching prospects are either in A ball or they're hurt.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nobody. They have nobody in AAA or AA that's healthy. That's a legitimate pitching prospect. Nobody.
They better keep hitting. Well.
So they're going to have to address this at some point.
And their farm system isn't on. A couple years ago, their farm system was top 5 in the game in a lot of the rankings.
No, it's down.
And a lot of their guys, they never made a big trade. They never made a big swing. And a lot of their guys haven't really, on the offensive side, haven't really popped. Right. So I don't know where you go.
Make a trade.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's why, I mentioned Jesus Luzardo. He's not off to a good start this year. He's a very talented pitcher. I think it would take a lot to get him, even though he's pitching poorly. But some of the guys on Oakland, like a J.P. Sears or a Paul Blackburn.
Blackburn's pitching really well.
He is. I don't know. You're not giving up a ton to get those guys.
Well, I mean, look what Savali cost. Savali and Blackburn, I think, are 1 and 1A. They're very similar. And it cost the Rays one of their top prospects.
So. Yeah.
Pitching prices are inflated.
That's fair.
Any sort of pitcher.
And that has to be just because supply and demand. Correct?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
And with all the pitching injuries.
You take it even more.
But and that's why, even I'm saying it's not panic time, I think the Guardians would be wise to look into a trade now, because right now there's not a ton of teams looking to make a significant trade for a pitcher. Whereas a month from now, 6 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now, there's going to be a ton of teams looking to trade.
The problem is the Marlins and the A's know that. So they're not going to trade him now. They're going to take it up to the deadline and let the demand build.
That's fair.
You're going to overpay now to get ahead of the market, or you're going to overpay it's going to be a drastic overpay either way, because these teams that aren't going anywhere are in no hurry to make a move.
But you know what, Jason? Sometimes you got to trade prospects.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, they got this team. There's no great team in this division. The Guardians are playing very well. You can't be cheap about everything. You're talking about poverty franchise. Well, that's what the Guardians are behaving like.
I don't know that.
Whoa.
Takes one to know one, Bull.
Easy.
I don't know that there is a prospect in the system right. I mean, I guess Chase DeLauder would be the one that fans would say you can't trade him, but
I don't believe that.
I mean, I think that
I would trade.
I would trade any of them. I would trade any of these guys. I get
Where's your loyalty?
A couple years ago when it was Espino, Williams, and Bibee, and teams were asking for Espino, and I get the hesitancy with that, and look how that's worked out.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think anybody in that farm system would be available to me if it's now. I don't know if you're going to trade Chase DeLauder for Paul Blackburn, but that's that's what we're talking about. Is that?
But I would I would trade him for Jesus Luzardo.
Oh, I would too in a second.
Yeah,
for sure. What's Luzardo have? He's arbitration eligible? I don't know if he's got.
I'll look at his contract.
I don't want to waste a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
But he is a terrific young lefty. He was with the A's for a while, strikeout machine.
Yeah.
And he could just be beaten down from all the losing in Miami.
Yeah.
But, when you talk about Kyle Manzardo was probably Tampa's number 2 or 3 prospect last year, and they gave him up for Aaron Savali, who is at best a mid-rotation guy. Like, he's not a top-of-the-rotation pitcher at all. But it also makes you wonder about, like, and at the time we didn't really say much about it, but they moved on from Cal Quantrill. How good would Cal Quantrill look right now?
Yeah, I don't love him.
I don't. He's better than Ben Lively.
By the way, to be fair to the
Stop doing Ben like that.
I'm not sure Cal Quantrill's any better than Ben Lively.
I don't know.
But by the way, to be fair, it's early. But to be fair to the Guardians, we brought this up a lot in the offseason. Both Will Benson and Nolan Jones are terrible
horrible.
starts. Both of them have been awful so far this year. To be fair to them, because we've criticized them a lot for that. Luzardo is going to be arbitration eligible for the first time next year. He's got 3 years of team control.
Oh, wow.
Wait a second.
That much.
4 or 5. Yeah, 3 years of team control. So you're going to have to give up a lot to get him. Yeah. And he's not off to a good – his last start was actually good. He had 2 starts before that where he got blown up early.
I don't care.
He's a talented pitcher.
Yes.
That's a high strikeout pitcher. And he's a lefty.
He's a front of the rotation arm.
He's a front of the rotation arm. I mean, he'd be their ace, really.
Yeah.
Or whatever, 1A and B with Bybee. But right now, outside of Bybee, who hasn't been great, I don't trust anybody in the rotation.
No. Not to give you 6 innings of 4 hits, 1-2 runs.
Yeah. So I think it's a move that and if it means, and I know I honestly don't care if I have to trade Chase DeLauder, if I have to trade, I don't know who has high value right now. Like what is Rocchio's value in a trade? What is Tyler Freeman's value in a trade? And I know there's some fans like, Tyler Freeman, I'm not trading Tyler Freeman. I like what Tyler Freeman's done. I'm not convinced he's an everyday player. Are you?
I think he's trending that way. Now, if you can go get a Jesus Luzardo, you figure it out.
Right, exactly.
But I actually really like Tyler Freeman.
I do too, but I'm not 100% sure he's an everyday player.
No, but I mean, of the options they have right now, I think he's by far their best option for center field. I know the average is down, but he's hit the ball really well. He's had a lot of good barrels. They're just not dropping right now.
I wonder, by the way, if they do call up Chase DeLauder at some point, it could be possible they put DeLauder in center field and move Freeman to short and send Rocchio back to the minors.
I hope that ain't the case for Jason's bold prediction. Or no, that's your bold prediction.
Yeah, my bold prediction's through the toilet.
I think they would trade. I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I think they would trade Rocchio before Freeman because I think.
Sure, but what is Rocchio's value right now?
I don't know. But Arias, I think, is ready to play.
Right. They could trade Arias. They could trade Jose Tena.
I just don't know that these guys have the value that they
I don't
did
know.
2 years
Ralphie
ago.
Velasquez. I mean, everybody's excited about him.
He's untouchable.
Not untouchable.
They're really high on.
I am Team Ralphie. I'm just putting out. I'm putting
There's
the claim
no
in
untouchables
right now.
They're really high on Juan Brito. They really like him.
It's another guy.
He's the guy they got for Nolan Jones.
He's untouchable to you?
No,
nobody.
There's
He's
nobody
not in the
untouchable.
Ralphie category.
Okay.
Kyle Manzardo. Would you trade Kyle Manzardo?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Before Ralphie, yep.
I would trade Carl Manzardo. Yes. I don't know he can play in the majors. If I get a proven major league frontline pitcher.
You know who you like the Rams GM.
I want guys I know are good big league players.
You and AB, forget all
I like
the young
Manzardo.
people.
He'd be the last minor leaguer I'd want to trade, but if I had to trade him to get a frontline pitcher, absolutely.
Bull, you would trade DeLauder before Manzardo.
Yes.
Yeah, because Manzardo's closer.
Right. Manzardo's ready to play in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm. Who is a higher ceiling in your opinion, DeLauder?
Probably
Manzardo?
DeLauder.
I don't know. Manzardo's pretty high. I mean, the hitting coach compared him to Wade Boggs. So if you have a future Hall of Famer coming up, I'll take that.
I mean, I'm not a hitting coach,
Wade
Jason.
Boggs?
No, he's a Hall of Famer. Wade Boggs?
No. I'm saying it's hyperbole
from Valleca?
Compared him.
I was a little shocked when he said it, but
Valleca.
I mean, I've heard from unverified sources who don't actually exist that Velasquez is a combination of Pudge Rodriguez defensively and Barry Bonds offensively. So
Who is?
Ralphie Velasquez. And once
Why would it be Pudge Rodriguez?
Because he's a catcher, first base catcher.
DeLauder?
No, he's saying
Ralphie
Velasquez.
Velasquez.
Oh, Velasquez.
I heard from an unverified source who doesn't actually exist that he's a combination of Pudge defensively and Barry Bonds.
He looks like he ate Pudge.
You'd fit right in with some Cleveland media members.
Wow. What's wrong?
What?
Y'all two together, man.
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh, you should
I
hear
said
what we
Jay-
Bow,
like,
bow,
yeah,
bow, bow.
You should hear what we say off the air. Anyway,
Listen,
so
Ralphie's raking. In all seriousness, and that source does not exist. I was making that.
Yeah.
Up. Ralphie's been raking in single A.
but you know, Bobby Bradley raked in the minors too, and he was a big, strong guy that everybody loved, and now he's out of baseball.
There are a lot of
you know,
holes in that
so I'm never afraid to trade prospects. I want guys that are proven major leaguers. That's it.
Fair. What'd you make of last night's game? Anything to actually look into? Just a bad hitting performance? I know they got 4
I
hits.
mean, Carrasco didn't pitch well.
We've said before,
they
Boston's
was-
pitching really well this
They
year.
were overdue for a
Yeah.
bad hitting game. I mean, they've been hitting so well this whole
Yeah,
year.
and
Like,
Boston's got, I think you just said, Boston's pitching staff has been great.
Yeah.
Well, they just lost Bello now, another guy on the injured list.
Yeah. Although that's supposed to be minimal.
Yeah.
We'll see. But they're all supposed to be minimal.
See, Cody Bellinger broke a rib running into the brick wall of Wrigley Field.
Really?
Somebody else did. Casas has a broken rib.
He has, but yeah, well,
He
yes.
out? Cody Bellinger's out?
That's a big loss.
Yeah, it is.
Casas, how do you say
Cases.
it? Boston's first
They
baseman.
called up, their Cubs called up their top hitting prospect, Pete Crow Armstrong, whose mom. Did you ever see the
Sure
movie?
they did.
Did you ever see the movie?
You told us about this before.
Oh, did I? You remember?
Rookie
this?
of the year.
Rookie of the year, right?
Yeah.
The mom in that movie is
Her
his
son-
mom.
yeah.
That's funny.
That's wild.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, last thing. So today's series finales against the Red Sox. First pitch is at 1:10. McKenzie's on the mound. The lineup they just released: Quan Freeman in the 2-hole, Jose batting
I
third, Naylor
wanted Freeman in
fourth.
the 2-hole. I'm sorry. Say it again. I was talking over you.
Quan Freeman, Jose Naylor, David Fry is catching. Jimenez has been dropped to the 6th spot. Brennan in the 7, Arias in the 8th at third, and Rocchio batting 9th at shortstop. Jose's your DH today.
Who's pitching for Boston? I forgot.
It's Tristan Verse. I gotta find out who
It
Boston.
was
Who did
supposed
you
to be,
say-
This
who-
was supposed to be Bayo.
Who did you
Yeah.
say was third and hit on the lineup?
Jose.
Oh, okay.
Freeman's second. I like Freeman second. I really like that.
It's Chase Anderson versus Tristan McKenzie.
Oh, he's meant his first start. So Chase Anderson's a veteran. He'd been around for a while.
Yeah.
And he's been pitching out of their bullpen. So he probably is not
Please,
going to go very
Tristan.
long.
It was supposed to be
give me 8
Bayo,
strikeouts.
Yeah.
their
Give me 8.
ace,
Yeah.
their young ace who they just signed an extension,
Yeah.
but they
Who's
just put
been-
him on the eye.
He's been great. Carter Crawford's been great, and
Huck.
Tanner Houck's been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But anyway, but Cooper Criswell's not a starter either, and he did a good job against them yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
They got him from the Rays.
Are you trying to negotiate more money out of the Browns?
Speaking of, I haven't said that in a long time. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm about to dedicate 8 hours. 8
Yeah,
hours.
Tyvus has
away
been whining
from-
about these hours
8 hours
for
of
like
my,
a week.
Imagine doing 5
Think
hours
about
I did a
day.
5-hour radio
Think
show for
about this.
11
I
years,
knew
and you're
that was
whining
coming.
about 8 hours.
Think about 8 hours of my life I'm about to dedicate
Talking
to,
about a second
to talk
round
about
pick.
the Cleveland Browns and
Yeah.
all of their draft prospects and how they're going to be great for this organization. I think that we should reward Tyvus.
Yeah.
And, just
Man,
pay him
Tyvus.
early. Give him a couple
Listen.
extra dollars.
We got the fun job in life. Most of our people out there watching, they're working real jobs. They're there 9 to 5.
Even though I'm not a media member. I'm just
Yes, you are.
I'm a former
You are
athlete.
100% the media
Former
member.
athlete.
It's like there's a scourge that comes with that to admit that you're
It
a media
is.
member.
It is.
Go ahead, Mike.
Former athlete.
Speaking of the draft, we're going to move on to some pre-draft roster rankings. But first, a reminder. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites, so if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get qualified candidates within 24 hours, so you can hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Just post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That is linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. The NFL draft is tonight, Bull, and The Athletic put out some pre-draft roster rankings.
Yes.
I'm going to let you set this up because you're the one that brought this to my attention.
Yeah, it was a good article, even though I can't remember who wrote it. I thought it was interesting. So basically, I like reading these things because we are all biased, right? And when I say we, I mean everybody. You look at the team you cover or you root for, and you know those teams better than. It's always funny to me and we do it. When you say, well, this team's better than that team. Yeah, in some cases it's clear. Mm-hmm. The Browns are better than the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, that's obviously true. But when the teams are relatively close, which a lot of the teams are, it's silly to say definitively one team is better than the other because we don't know, just like those people that are doing sports talk in Buffalo or Cincinnati or Pittsburgh or Baltimore, Kansas City, they don't know the Browns as well as they know their team, and they don't know the whatever. Same thing for us. We know the Browns roster inside and out. We know every player that's going to play any significant time for the Browns. Mm-hmm. And we know their strengths and weaknesses, how good they are. And then as fans, we tend to maybe overrate our own guys a little bit. And the guys who aren't as good, maybe we don't lower them as much. Mm-hmm. So I like what sometimes when you have a national writer, and The Athletic does a great job, despite the fact that they've hired Jason. I mean, I don't know what's happening.
Is this a Jason Lloyd?
No,
article?
it's not. I can't even remember who wrote this.
I was trying to find it.
I got it right. I got it here. But
if it's The Athletic,
if it was Jason Lloyd, we'd
this one's definitely The Athletic. This one,
I did not.
This one was written by. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Austin Mock. Do you know him? I don't know who he is.
No, I don't know Austin.
Austin Mock. I don't know if he's doing mock drafts, but anyway. So now it's one man's opinion, and we don't know. He may have biases too. Who knows who he roots for? Maybe his favorite team is the Buffalo Bills, and that's why he's got them higher than I would have guessed. But anyway, he ranked all 32 teams at this point, or as of a couple of days ago, which, pre-draft, in terms of the overall roster talent. We've had conversations like this on the show. Sometimes we've done it where it's like, well, not including quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But he's obviously including quarterback, and you can tell from his rankings that the quarterbacks are heavily weighted on this list, which I think makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's
right?
fair. That's fair.
He's still got the Bills as a top 5 team. Now, on the surface, I didn't think of the Bills. This is different, Mike. I don't know why we're putting this up.
Is that the one you sent us? You sent me that this morning.
That's
yeah, but that's not. I thought we were doing the Athletic roster rankings.
Oh, I thought that was The Athletic. My bad. That's bad
no.
job out of me.
That's PFF's AFC
that's
Power
terrible
rankings.
job out of me. Terrible job out of me.
Yeah, that was something different. I thought we could use another time,
My fault.
Anyway, so the Athletic. So this guy ranked all 32 teams, and take it however you want. You got the top 5?
The top 5.
Yeah.
And let's just read them here.
Yeah.
Because obviously I messed that up.
Yeah.
San Francisco, number 1.
Yes.
Kansas City.
Kansas City was number 2. And I got to pull up the text from Bull here.
Baltimore
3, Buffalo 4,
Philly
Eagles 5.
and Philly
Yes.
5.
And then he also ranked the AFC North teams. Steve, now you can take it. I didn't screw
Yeah,
this
we
one up.
got.
These are the 4 AFC North teams in their rankings.
Baltimore's 3, Cincinnati 10, Cleveland 14, Pittsburgh 22. Now, when you look at the top 5, you could tell the quarterback is heavily weighted, and he downgraded the Bengals. A year ago, everybody was thinking Joe Burrow was the second best quarterback in football.
Yeah.
But Joe Burrow was hurt and didn't have a particularly good season. He got off to a slow start. He played, and then he played a little better, but then he got hurt again, and so he didn't have a good year. And so he's dropped, and that's why
he's got the Jets above the Bengals.
Which is I disagree with, but
Yeah.
all right, whatever.
No, it's The Athletic. It's right. Everything's right. The
There
Athletic.
you go.
Wait a minute. The Jets above the Bengals, y'all disagree?
Yes.
I do. Yes.
Why?
I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers.
I don't either.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Coming off that injury
he's
and his
40
age
and coming
and-
off an Achilles injury, and he was already in decline even before the injury. No,
So y'all just going straight off the quarterback then?
Yeah.
No. That thing says, the key word in that whole thing says roster.
I know that.
Well, a big part of the roster.
Roster.
But
you act like Aaron Rodgers is a bum.
I don't know what he is coming off an injury. Jason and I believe we don't trust him anymore. You obviously still trust him.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention, the Bengals got a better wide receiving core than the Jets, a better offensive line than the Jets, better, believe it or not, even though I don't think the Bengals are that good at this position, they're better than the Jets at tight end.
Oh, I thought you was going to say running back. I was going to tell you.
No, the Jets have a better running back, yes. Defensively,
Who
I
is
think
the Jets tight end? C.J. Uzomah?
No, they cut him. There's some kid they drafted last year. He was okay.
It's a nobody.
I can't remember. Now, the Bengals don't have a great tight end either. It's Mike Gesicki is their starting tight end. But he's better than the guy
They're about to draft Brock Bowers.
I don't think he's going to get to them.
He's got the Falcons 12.
See, I just did something. I just did something that I hate when people do. I said, I don't think he's going to get to the 18. I only believe that because of mock drafts. I have no idea. But it's mock draft group think right now makes me believe Brock Bowers won't get to 18 when I really have no clue whatsoever.
Defensively, forget about it.
Yeah.
Except maybe D. No, yeah. No,
I mean, I don't know.
I take Henderson over Johnson.
Yeah, the Bengals secondary, the corners are fine. They brought back Von Bell. How's he doing, by the way? Have you spoken to him?
I have talked to Von. Yeah. I can't remember what the last conversation was about.
And the Bengals got good linebackers. I don't think the Bengals defense. I think the Bengals defense is adequate. I don't think
Who
it's great.
are they corners?
They've got Cam Taylor-Britt.
Who they drafted from Nebraska 2-3 years ago.
He's really good.
Okay.
And I'm drawing a blank on their other starting corner.
Because Cheeto's gone.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on their
Mike
other
Hilton?
starting corner. What's that?
No, he's
Hilton?
a nickel.
I can't hear you, Mike.
He said
Mike Hilton's their nickel corner, and he's really good.
Yeah.
But I can't remember their other starting corner at the moment. I don't know if that position's been determined yet for sure.
They got Houston 11. I'd put Houston above the Jets.
I would too. But again,
I would too.
So I was most surprised that Buffalo was that high.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. They don't have.
But they got Josh Allen.
I don't care.
Well, you don't care.
I tell you, you know why he put them top.
You don't think the quarterback should weigh the heaviest in these rankings?
I'm gonna tell you why he put him top 5. The bill because Tom Brady got on there and they asked him, "What quarterback don't have a ring that you expect to have one soon?" And he said, "Josh Allen."
When was this?
This was like a month ago.
So you think this guy had Buffalo 4 because Tom Brady said he expects Josh Allen to win a ring?
Yep.
All right. What do we think about the Browns being ranked 14th?
I think that.
I think it's pretty close.
I mean, I like the roster. The quarterback play in the injuries is the only reason because of it. If they all were who they were in their primes, then this would be a top 5 roster. But I think that your concerns is at quarterback, running back, and your receiver productions outside of Amari Cooper.
Well, let's. I'm going to read the whole list, and we'll do the quarterback. Do the Browns have of the teams in the top 15? Do the Browns have the most questionable quarterback situation? At 1, you got Brock Purdy. Not that he's the best, but his team is number 1. 2, Mahomes. 3, Lamar. 4, Allen. 5, Jalen Hurts. 6, Jared Goff. Not great. But he's been pretty good these last 2 years for the Lions.
He's been lighting it up the last couple of years.
7, Dak. 8, Tua. 9, Aaron Rodgers. Now, both Jason and I think they should be lower because we're worried about him as a quarterback. You don't agree. 10, Burrow. 11, Stroud. 12, Kirk Cousins, the Falcons. 13, Stafford. 14, Deshaun Watson. 15, Jordan Love. So, of the top 15 teams, would you say that the Browns have the cloudiest quarterback situation? However you want to describe it. Maybe cloudy is the wrong word.
Well,
what Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles too, right? Or what was his injury?
I can't remember.
It was an Achilles. That's correct.
What's that?
Are y'all worried about him?
It was an Achilles. That is correct.
Okay, and he's old
Kirk?
too.
he's old, not as old as Aaron Rodgers.
So what?
But here's the thing: Deshaun ain't been good in 3 years. So,
well, I mean, comparing to Aaron Rodgers, sure.
But
yeah.
so I mean, if Kirk Cousins was the quarterback here, or if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback here, and you were looking at Deshaun in another city, you'd say that guy ain't been good in 3 years.
That's right.
I'll take our guy over that guy.
That's a fact.
Right.
So for that reason,
That's a fact.
You have to say yes.
Yes,
Cleveland has the cloudiest.
the Browns are the highest-ranked team with the biggest question mark at quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, unless you put Aaron Rodgers.
Because his injury is more recent.
Right.
But, I mean, Deshaun's injury ain't no joke.
That's a good point.
So-
And Aaron Rodgers, who was showing signs of decline in Green Bay,
Yeah, a
but
little
not what we saw from Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still good. He just wasn't as good as he'd been in his prime. And he's old. I think he is a question mark. And I think they are a question mark.
Yeah.
And I would put them lower.
I mean, we had at least I did.
Yeah.
Had the Browns higher than the Jets last year when Aaron Rodgers was healthy.
Right.
And Deshaun was healthy at the time.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, both have had pretty significant injuries, season-ending
Yes.
injuries. So in my mind, I think I'd still, as a whole roster, I think I'd still take the Browns over the Jets, I think.
Although, one big difference. Last year, Nick Chubb was
Nick Chubb,
healthy.
that's fair.
And last year, Breece Hall was coming off a serious
Yeah,
injury.
yeah.
Now, Hall's
That's flipped,
healthy,
yeah.
and Nick Chubb's coming off a
No,
serious
that's a good
injury.
point. I think they're still neck and neck.
Because I think Breece Hall could be easily a top 5 back in the league this year, don't you, Travis?
Yeah.
Right?
Easily.
So
He will be.
right? I think he's a good
Yeah,
chance
he
he will
will
be.
be.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I really think in the end, the Browns being 14th on this list is almost irrelevant because if we know, and every conversation with the Browns eventually comes back to what is Deshaun Watson going to be this year, and the only reason the Browns are if you told this guy who wrote this list, he goes, Deshaun Watson's going to play like he did in Houston. Well, all of a sudden the Browns are 3 on the list, or 4, or 2, or 5, whatever. They're in the top 5. If you guaranteed that Deshaun Watson was going to play at the level he did in Houston, then the Browns are in the top 5. So whether you're angry that they're 14, you think they should be 5 or 6 or 8 or whatever, they're 14 because this guy, like many others, doesn't have a lot of faith in Deshaun Watson, which is reasonable.
You know,
right
I want to
now.
argue your point, but I can't because 4 is Buffalo, 5 is Philly, but then 6 and 7 are Detroit and Dallas. I'd for sure put, if you're guaranteeing me 2020 Deshaun, I'd put him over Dallas. I'd put him over Detroit.
Definitely.
Mike,
I'd put him over Buffalo.
Mike, who was Deshaun's receivers in this year he did really well?
Nobody.
Well, he did
great.
well every year.
Give me
there.
one second.
Nobody.
No,
you mean 2020,
the best one.
stock boy years where
Well, in
the best year.
2020, he had his best statistical year, but the team stunk.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018 and 19, he wasn't as good statistically, but he was still very good,
No, I
and the
just-
team performed better.
I just want to know, do you think the Browns have enough in the passing attack
Yes.
for him to be successful?
of course
for
they do.
sure.
Okay. So,
Tyvis, the year he threw for nearly 5,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His leading receivers that season, you ready? Mm-hmm. Brandon Cooks had 81 catches for 1,150 yards and 6 touchdowns. Almost identical to Amari Cooper 2 years ago. Amari went a little over that.
Yeah, and Amari Cooper's better than Brandon Cook's a good player, but he's
Amari's
not.
better.
Amari
Yes.
Cooper's better.
His number 2 receiver that season,
Will Fuller.
Will Fuller, 53 catches, 879 yards, 8 touchdowns. You hope you could get that from Jerry Jeudy at a minimum this year.
Yeah, I mean that's
You
what Jerry
better.
Judy's been in Denver.
yeah, you better get that.
The third receiver, big drop off from 1 and 2 to 3. Randall Cobb, 38 receptions, 441 yards, 3 touchdowns. You
that's
better
Elijah
get that
Moore.
at minimum from Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
His leading tight end that season was their 4th leading receiver, Jordan Akins, who's on this roster
Right.
in Cleveland currently.
And obviously Njoku way better
37
than him.
receptions, 403 yards, 1 touchdown. They had Kiki Katui.
Kiki Cutie.
No, it's Katui.
You sure?
He's from East Texas. I'm pretty sure it's Kiki
Okay, I thought it was
Katui.
Cutie.
And David Johnson was their leading rusher.
He was terrible.
So,
he
yeah.
was that deal
the weapons
in,
were now granted.
Arizona.
Granted, they sucked that year. They went 4-12.
Yeah.
Deshaun played much better than a 4-12 record would indicate, but they went 4-12 at the end of the day.
And people have said, you know, listen. I'm sure he obviously put up some of those numbers in situations where they were getting beat.
Yeah.
You know, but if you look at the analytics on that season, he was the highest graded quarterback in the league that year. But even the 2 years before that, where again his stats weren't that lofty, he was still very good those years, and they won more in those years. And he had what's his name?
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
In 2019, so the year before they
Yeah.
fell off, DeAndre had 150 targets, 104 receptions,
Jeez.
1,165 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. And who was the second leading receiver that year?
He
Fuller,
had
right?
that
Will
many
Fuller was
catches with only 1,100
I know,
yards.
that's wild, isn't it?
Yep.
What?
No, he didn't have 150 catches.
No, he had 104 catches
For
yeah.
1,100
for
yards.
1,100 yards.
Yeah, you would have.
It's like 10 yards.
That's weird.
And the year before in 2018, the Texans were good that year.
Yep.
DeAndre Hopkins had his monster. That was the year he went buck wild. 163 targets, 115 receptions, 1,572 yards, and 11 touchdowns.
Isn't that funny? He only had like 9 less catches a year after, and he had 500 less yards.
Yeah.
Their number 2 receiver, it goes from 1,572 yards to Will Fuller with 503. 1,000 yards. 1,070.
Man, now Will
separate.
Fuller's out of football. He hasn't played in a couple of years. That guy, whenever he could never stay healthy, but when he did play, he had some big. He'd make a lot of big plays.
I went against him my last year in college, my last game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he was fast.
really fast.
He was fast.
but he could never stay on the field.
That boy could fly.
But I'm surprised nobody's given him a chance in the last 2 years. But anyway, yeah, I mean that's what it's all about. So the difference in the end between Team 1 and Team 15 and everywhere in between is how good is the quarterback play, because the talent of the rosters from Teams 1 probably even past 15, probably to 20 or 18 or wherever that line is.
Oh, they've got the Chargers 16,
Right.
and Justin Herbert's better than a lot of
Right,
the
but
quarterbacks ahead of
see,
him.
but in their case, the rest of their roster is not very good. That's why they're so low, even though they've got a good quarterback.
Who they leading receiver now?
Now,
Quentin Johnson, the receiver they took in the first round last
They'll
season.
probably
who had a
draft
bad
somebody.
Who had the drops?
I mean, aren't they picking high enough to take Neighbors?
Yeah, they picked 5th. The
Yeah, so
they
consensus
gonna
is
get
they're gonna trade
if
down.
Arizona don't take whatever
they're-
receiver they don't take.
Come on now. This is all nonsense. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going first. There's no doubt about it.
in terms of receivers,
Yeah.
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 you agree?
All right.
He better.
He better.
You be a fool.
I heard somebody make this.
You
fired
be a
if you-
fool
you're
not
fired
to
if
do
you
that.
don't.
I just seen the thing that said the Colts about to trade up.
I heard this comparison yesterday. Said Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be Larry Fitzgerald, and Neighbors is going to be Tyreek Hill. Who would you rather have?
That was Cleve TA.
Oh, was it Cleve TA?
He put that out a couple weeks, something like that a couple weeks
I saw
ago.
somebody post yesterday.
Would I rather have Larry or Tyreek Hill
Yeah.
I'd take Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's a more complete receiver.
in today's NFL?
I know speed, but
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald was.
Tyreek is gonna put up crazy numbers though.
Yeah.
John
Without the off the field stuff, because
John-
Tyreek Hill's a really bad guy, but
John
you know,
Cooper.
whereas Larry Fitzgerald's a great guy.
John Cooper tried to get Larry Fitzgerald to Columbus, and Andy Geiger shut it down. That's what I was told. He could have had talk about
he-
wide receiver. He could have had Larry Fitzgerald. There.
I
He tried to get
mean,
him.
he would have lost the last game of the season.
All right, Mike.
All right, we're going to talk about something very, very important. But first, a word from FanDuel. It's playoff time in the NBA and NHL. Baseball's in full swing, and FanDuel is your place to bet on every single game. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. That's $150. Win or lose, you can bet on everything from slap shots to home runs and slam dunks, all on an app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And I want to start this out by saying, Bull, the Bengals really need to start using FanDuel and winning some money, because that poverty franchise can't afford any of their players right now. Trey Hendrickson wants out.
Yeah.
T. Higgins wants out. They're requesting trades because they can't
Neither
get paid.
one of them wants out.
They
They
can't
wanna get
afford
paid.
to keep their best players, Bull. Joe Burrow's going to ask for a trade. It has to be released any day now. Bull, this is your platform. You can defend yourself, but how are you going to defend the poverty-ridden Cincinnati Bengals?
All right, that's not accurate. They're actually
Sell the teams.
They're
Sell
actually in
the
terms of cap
teams.
space, they're like 10th. So the teams have a lot more cap space. That's funny. That's very funny. I have never been a Mike Brown fan. I have always disliked him as an owner. I think he's a bad owner. Now, his daughter has taken over, and I think she's done a better job than he did. She spends more than he does, And the Bengals, if you look at free agency the last few years, they've spent a lot of money. I think in free agency they're top 10 in spending over the last 3-4 years.
Didn't they just sign the tackle?
Yeah, they signed Trent Brown.
That's who it is.
But yes, they don't. The Bengals don't spend like the Browns do. Bizarrely, nobody spends like the Browns do. It's just crazy. But good. That's great for the Browns.
Well, that's what happens when you can roll over cap space for 15 years.
Right, exactly. But the pure joy from the Nick Carnes of the world yesterday was a little disturbing.
I don't know who
Like,
that is.
yeah, he's just some guy on Twitter who just, he's weird. He was.
We like Nick.
He was
Let's set the record
spelunking
straight.
a
We
little
like
too
Nick.
much. This idea that the Bengals are a disaster because Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins want to get paid. The Bengals don't trade players that ask for a trade. The only player they've ever traded that asked for a trade was Carson Palmer. And that's because Carson Palmer actually sat out. Trey Hendrickson's agent claimed that first of all, he just signed an extension last year.
Poverty.
And Trey Hendrickson's agent said that he might retire rather than play on his current contract.
That
Does
ain't
anybody
happening.
believe that?
That's not happening.
Never.
Nobody believes that. I actually think, listen, I think they'll probably work it out with Hendrickson. T. Higgins is going to play one more year, and then he's going to walk. That's it. But they're both going to be on the team this year. And the bottom line is, as long as they have Burrow and to a little lesser degree Chase, I'm not that worried.
I mean, I look at it like
I wish the Bengals spent more. Of course, I wish they spent like the Browns do and signed all these guys. I'd love them to sign Higgins to an extension. But T. Higgins is a good player. He's not a great player. And they could live without him eventually. And they will after next year.
at the end of the day, this season is a all-in season.
Yeah, they're not trading
because
either of
they're
those
not
guys.
trade. Neither
That's
one of
silly.
them. They getting Trey Hendrickson is getting the great Greg Popovich. Go sit on over there until we got you under contract for 2 years.
Yeah.
We ain't trading you.
That's right.
You either gonna play or you gonna sit on that bench right there. So that's that. But as far as the poverty, they're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to spend some money at some point.
You can't say poverty when they just paid Joe Burrow one of the biggest contracts in the history of the sport.
I can and I will.
Now,
Poverty
if they
franchise.
don't, I will say this: if they don't sign Chase,
if they don't sign, I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'll
If
be shocked.
they don't sign Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow's gonna ask for the trade.
That is correct.
He will sit out.
That is correct. But Joe understands. Like, he's like, okay, I'm fine with T. Higgins. You better sign Chase.
Yeah.
They just need to sell the naming rights again. I told it can be Paycor Stadium at Rena Center.
Yeah.
Supplied by
Brought to you
Nationwide.
by-
Yeah. Just put like
And
7
yes.
names across the stadium.
And the Trey Hendrickson thing, like I said, they're going to sit. Listen, Trey,
They'll
this
figure that
is what
out.
we're going to do. We're going to give you $2 or $3 more million a year on your deal.
Yeah.
You good.
Can
And
they sell the field?
He'll be like, all right, bet.
Enterprise Field at Paycor Stadium.
Yeah.
How don't they got
Brought to you by
How don't he got the money?
Skyline Chili.
Yeah, right?
How don't he got money?
Because it's funny.
They're like the Dolans.
The Browns are like the Dolans.
Oh, he got it.
Their
He just ain't gonna spend
Their
it.
only business is the team.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same as,
it's
Jimmy Haslam had other businesses.
It's the mom and pop shops
Well,
trying
they-
to compete against.
Well, they
Jimmy
need to
got
be-
his money from sucking on daddy's teeth.
Well, they need to be on like some Jerry Jones stuff. When I was with Dallas, you seen tours being given out
Yeah.
at the facility. He had people coming through. You pay whatever it is, and you
Yeah.
get a tour, and you might run into Zeke.
Right.
You might run into Dak. Like
Zeke
that's,
looks like he's going back to Dallas.
yeah, I talked to
Dallas
Zeke.
hasn't done
I
anything
talked to
so-
Zeke like 2 weeks ago about
Say he's
that.
going back to Dallas?
We'll talk to you about it off the air. No, Zeke said he wouldn't mind. He would love to go
Yeah.
back to Dallas, but
That's a
we'll
disaster.
see. We'll see.
So the bottom line is, do I like the Bengals ownership? No. Do I wish they would spend as much as Jimmy Haslam? Yes. Am I worried? No. As long as they have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, then I'm fine. I don't want to lose Trey Hendrickson. I've already realized they're going to lose T. Higgins. I can live with that. The Bengals have done a good job finding wide receivers.
You know, I saw something yesterday on Twitter actually
Yeah.
about this. About some people are taking victory laps like over the Deshaun contract and see it's not that bad.
That's embarrassing.
That has
Who
nothing,
said that?
I can't remember.
Random dopes on Twitter.
But like the Deshaun contract and the Bengals have not. Joe Burrow's cap hit is, I think, I don't know. My guess would be half. It's probably half of Deshaun's this
Why
year.
would it be half, even when the total money is similar?
I bet you it's half.
Yeah, I don't know
His
what
cap
it is.
hits according to Over the Cap. This season, $29.7 million.
Yeah. Deshaun's is 64.
Next season, 46.25.
Still way lower.
By the way,
2026, 28.25.
It's not a cap issue with the
2027,
Bengals. It's a cheap
52.25.
issue with the Bengals.
they have certain guys they pay, and that's it.
Yeah, one. Maybe
well,
two.
I think they'll pay Chase.
Well, that's the maybe two.
If they don't pay Chase, I'm telling you
but
right
Jason,
now.
The point is, they have a philosophy. They rarely deviate from it.
And
They
that's
didn't-
why they've been horrendous for decades.
Well,
and
fair,
and on top of all of
but
this,
they haven't been,
Hey, the Browns, they have two. Like, the Browns' philosophy is ready, fire,
for
aim.
the most part, since Marvin Lewis, they've had more good seasons than bad.
Yeah.
They were awful in the 90s, and then even in the 80s, they were good with Boomer. And in the 70s, they were good. The Bengals, outside of the 90s and early 2000s, have been a decent franchise.
oh my goodness.
And by the way,
you
Yeah.
need to cut it
the
out.
ready, fire, aim is pre-Andrew and Kevin. I don't need to get in trouble with any more teams.
Ready, fire, aim? I don't
Ready, fire, aim.
remember that.
I just said the Browns' philosophy has been ready, fire, aim.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think they do have it right. So everybody
Yes, I
settle
am.
down.
Yes, as a fan, am I bothered that they don't spend like Jimmy? Of course I'm bothered.
Yeah.
Oh my
But I don't
goodness.
think they would not have signed T. Higgins to a massive extension even if they hadn't signed Burrow.
T. Higgins is at his own fault for why they don't want to pay him this much.
He had a bad year.
If he would have started off and just tore it up like he was
Yeah.
supposed to,
They still wouldn't have paid him.
they would have been more inclined.
But
And then on top of that, even if they didn't pay him, it would have made another franchise be inclined.
I'm
might
inclined
trade.
to continue working out and losing weight, but look at me.
hey,
Ain't done it yet.
T. Higgins is a hell of a player.
So if he had a monster year and they franchise tagged him, you don't think that somebody would have been like, "I give you my first round pick for him"?
I still think it's possible somebody might, and maybe they would consider.
What's
But
the money on the franchise?
I just don't think they're going
What
to
is
trade
the
him.
money at the wide
It's like
receiver?
22 million.
Let me ask you guys this.
Well,
Yeah.
they do the deal. They trade him and then make the deal.
I want to ask you guys this.
Yeah.
Bull, you don't seem to believe. Steve Becker just asked if we want Nick Carnes on the show.
No, Nick's a nice guy, but no.
We like Nick. For the sake of this, and I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Bull, you don't seem concerned that Hendrickson and/or Higgins will not be on the Bengals. They make a trade, one thing, but they're not going to just trade them for nothing. Do you still look at the Bengals from the Browns' perspective? Are the Bengals still a big of a threat today as they were 2 days ago before these trade requests?
Of course. Why wouldn't they be?
Because the poverty franchise is falling apart.
The trade
at the
requests are
foundation.
meaningless. You think guys are not going to play hard because they wanted to be? And it's not like they want to be traded like Deshaun Watson wanted to be traded because he was unhappy in Houston. These guys only want to be traded because the Bengals aren't meeting their contract demands. That's a big difference. And listen, it's not great. I don't love it. And I don't love that. I would figure it out with Hendrickson. And in a perfect world, yeah, I'd love them to sign Higgins too. But and if they don't sign Chase, I'll lose my freaking mind and kill him. But
If they
I
don't
don't know. I
re-sign
can't get
Chase.
worked up about it. They have Joe Burrow. If Joe Burrow until last year had been the second best quarterback in the league, if he's back to that again this year, then they're fine. If he's
How
not, then they
confident are
won't
you
be
they'll
fine.
re-sign Chase?
What's that?
How confident are you they'll re-sign Chase?
They better.
I feel pretty confident
When's
in
he
that.
up? What's his contract?
They just picked up his fifth-year option.
Yeah, this is his fourth year.
Yeah.
They better.
If
So-
they don't, Bull, you should get poverty tattooed on your arm.
No, I'm not getting poverty tattooed on my arm. I'm not defending the owners, Mike. You're not listening.
What
to me.
is-
I'm just busting.
Hendrickson, when he got
Yeah.
traded from the Saints,
No, they
Or they
signed him
signed
as a
him.
free agent. Yeah,
was it a big deal?
it was like 4 years, $40 million.
So
You know, he hadn't been that. He only had one good year with the Saints.
And then when he signed the extension, it's 15.
they added 1 year. They added 1 year at $15 million. Last year they added.
I can see why he's upset a little bit.
But like, why?
But he
just
shouldn't have signed.
extension
He
last
shouldn't
year.
have signed it last
Why did
year.
he sign that?
He should have.
And now he had his best year. This was his best year. This past season.
He's clearly outplayed his contract.
yes.
I would like to say you signed the contract, stand by
Yeah.
it. But teams go back. I mean, look what they just did to Nick Chubb. Teams go back all the time.
Sure, I don't
And-
blame. I'm not mad at Trey Hendrickson. I
Yeah.
get it. If I were him, I'd want more money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He outplayed that contract
Yes.
easily.
And the Bengals should pay him. But, listen, I get frustrated, by the way, but I can't. I used to be much more critical of the Bengals because until 3-4 years ago, they never spent in free agency. And to be fair to them and fair to ownership, since Mike Brown's daughter took over operations, they have been better at spending. They've gone from a pauper franchise to a poor franchise.
Where did they rank in that player
low
evaluation of facilities? Low. Get low.
Their practice facility is like under an overpass.
They just got
It's
him in.
awful.
Didn't they just get an indoor?
I think yes, but I don't think it's great.
Took this long.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's a full 100
They
yards.
run it like a mom and pop shop. Trust me, I don't like it, but it is what it is. What am I going to do?
They're not selling the team.
But the
anytime
bottom
soon.
line is, as long as they have Burrow, they're going to be in the mix.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts.
But on that vein too, Joe's got to bounce back because he did not have a good year.
You know,
I know he was hurt. He didn't have a good
technically,
year.
they don't have to pay Jamar for 2 more years.
They got to pay it. They got to pay him by next year. You can't. You don't want to go into. I mean, they don't have to. Really, they can control him for more than that because they can franchise him.
Oh,
but they got to sign him. They should sign him now. They should offer. I mean, Amon Ra got what?
120.
120 for 4.
A lot of money. It was something like that.
You got to pay. That means you got to pay Chase what? $40 million a year, 35, and maybe they won't do it. Maybe the number's going to be cut. And I'd love to say that if they don't sign Chase, I'll stop rooting for the Bengals. But you can't do that.
If they have to pay Jamar Chase $35-40 million, they aren't saying they're not signing him. You think they're going to pay him?
It was 4 years,
that?
120. You're correct. 77 games.
They're going to have to.
I'll tell you
Then
right
the
now.
franchise might as well fold if they don't.
Then
Because
Detroit turned around
because
and paid
if they let
Sewell.
Chase go, Joe Burrow will have to be.
He has to,
won't
yeah.
be out.
They're going to have to sell a kidney to pay
What is
that.
the point of signing Burrow? Like if you have the money to sign Burrow, if you're not going to sign anybody else,
Because the quarterback's most important spot.
I know that.
If he's
Jason.
that good, he can
But you
make everybody
can't
else around him better.
Jamar Chase.
Of course
you can't
they
let him
should.
walk out the door.
I will be shocked if they sign him. Shocked.
Yeah,
Did they sign
maybe
Chase?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know what I tell you? What they do with this
I
first
think
round pick this
Jason,
year?
I think you're unfairly ignoring the fact that they have spent significantly more in the last few years than they ever
You
had.
think- what's Joe making?
20. Did he say?
His year by year is total.
What's Joe making in 3 years?
This year, if you do the math, the salary's $11 million. Then he got another 20 in bonuses, so 30. Next season, the salary jumps to 25 plus 21 in bonuses, so 50. Between 50 and 60 million is
You
his
think they're
actual
going to
cash
spend
income.
$90 million on 2 players?
They better. That's all I'll say.
I will believe it when I see it. I don't believe there's any chance they're spending $90 million
Again,
on 2 players.
They've
spent they haven't spent that.
Yes, but until 4 or 5 years ago, they never spent ever
We'll see.
on anybody, and now they have. They
Okay.
have spent a ton in free agency, and to me, that signals a difference. Now, you may be right. Traditionally, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I thought that when they've spent in free agency and paid Burrow, that this was a changing of the guard. I still didn't expect them to sign Higgins. I knew they weren't going to sign Higgins, but when you're talking about Chase, who's the best of the best,
Yeah.
they have to sign him. If they don't, I'll lose my mind. I'll scream and yell
If
like a lunatic.
Them spending $90 million on 2 players would be like the Guardians signing a free agent for $150 million, $180 million, $200 million. It'd be the same thing.
They spent almost that on Jose.
That's why I kept upping the number, because I thought of it.
Yeah.
It would be like them signing Aaron
Now,
Judge.
football, there's more,
in a free
more
agent.
money. Salary cap is higher.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
You know,
I got an NFL question.
got the money.
I got an NFL question for McNuggets. How do you feel about Drake May?
That's
I
out of
like
left
Caleb
field.
Williams. I don't like any of their quarterbs in this draft.
Well,
I'm with Mikey.
I just seen.
I don't
the
even know
thing-
if I like
No,
Caleb
because
Williams. I
I
don't know if
Bleacher
any of them.
Report just sent me a thing saying that the Giants looking to trade up to get May. So I wanted to know how he felt.
Don't believe any of that stuff.
I
It's
just-
all nonsense.
It's a hypothetical.
I know, but all these rumors, it's all not. It's 7 hours away, 7.5 hours. Draft starts.
I know.
I'm excited about the draft.
I could care less. Could not care less.
That's right. You care so little.
not care less.
You couldn't care less.
Nope, I'm going to freeze my butt off at a baseball game tonight.
Yes. Oh,
with
it's
the
gonna be cold out
Cavs
there.
with the Cavs on my phone.
Yeah. I'm going to DVR it and just watch it when I get home.
Who does that?
That's what I'm going to do.
Just look at this.
And then I fast
Why do you
forward
want
to
to?
the commercials.
Why do you need the DVR? You know, like
He's running a
ESPN.
practice. He's got a.
ESPN alerts you every time.
I'm not going to have my phone with me. I don't have my phone with me when I'm coaching.
I'm just
Locked
saying,
in.
you'll catch up. Like as soon as you get to your phone, you'll be like, "Oh, such and such went this." Boom, 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 boom.
Totally
boom.
off topic, but that night last summer when Mike came to film my team,
That was
Yeah.
just so funny.
it was what was it? NBA free agency.
It was the start of free agency.
It was the night that NBA free agency started,
Right.
and my phone and my watch. I had my phone in my pocket and
Yeah.
my watch. It was like I can't. I mean, it was just vibrating all freaking night long. Finally, I had to take my watch and phone off and hand it to my other son. I'm like, I just take this. I can't. I'm trying to watch the game, and I keep like. It was because again the ADD. The worst thing you can have with ADD is a phone with notifications and
God.
watch. I was like this all night. I wasn't even
Yeah,
watching the
It
game.
was crazy.
Yeah.
We got one last important thing we got to talk about today, and that's a new stadium. And there are some proposed stadium plans in another city that I'm curious about your thoughts on their potential in Cleveland, because we know Cleveland's a competitive city, and everyone in Cleveland's playing Monopoly Go. Clevelanders are one of the 100 million people who have downloaded the Monopoly Go app. It's a great twist on Monopoly where you play on not one but hundreds of different Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big money. The best part, you can mess with your friends. You can charge them rent on iconic properties. Just like classic Monopoly, you can also rob their vaults for riches, and the leaderboards show you who the biggest Monopoly tycoon is. But it's not just their competitive side that loves Monopoly Go. You can team up with friends and people from all around the world in time tournaments to earn huge rewards. So get in on the game and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go now for free on the App Store or Google Play. The Chicago Bears released a video yesterday of their new proposal for a lakefront stadium in Chicago. We're going to play that video in case you missed it. It looks pretty spectacular. Steve, take it.
Is there audio? No.
I mean, the area. Feel the roar. Feel the roar. The area where the Bear Stadium is already a very cool part of Chicago.
Oh yeah. And it
Right.
looks like this is pretty close to it. By the museums, right?
Right. I think they would be putting it on the same footprint, aren't they, Mike? Of where the
To
stadium
my
is
knowledge,
currently?
yes. It'll be the same exact area.
Same footprint. Yeah. This looks amazing. Obviously, Chicago is. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's a great city, and
It is.
it's
There's another one.
There's more confetti falling.
more
from
confetti
yesterday.
still falling down from yesterday. But you couldn't do that in downtown Cleveland.
Well, no, it's $4.5
I'm about to say
billion.
it's $4 billion.
Well, I know, but even at that lesser price, like there's not the room to do it. Chicago's a much bigger city and has a much bigger lakefront. Plus our lakefront is stuck with the stupid airport, and
Yeah.
you couldn't do that same thing downtown, could you?
Not on the current.
No,
What
not
did
on-
that say? 14 acres. How many acres? What did it say?
14 acres.
14 acres. That's not a lot. 14 acres is not a lot.
Brook Park was 76, remember?
Well, that's because he's
No,
doing other
Brook
stuff.
Park was 176, wasn't it?
Oh, 176.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 14 acres, I think, is about like Progressive Field. I think Progressive Field's like 10.
Okay.
10 or 11 acres, I think.
So
Because Target Field, I think Zach told me Target Field is 9.
Yeah.
So that's the smallest.
Well, what
So
about
you're-
Brown Stadium?
Progressive
You're
Field is
telling me-
12 acres.
12.
So
You're
you're
telling
essentially
me
getting
there's
that
a
area.
chance.
No.
I mean, it's not going to look like that. We don't have parks and
Why you shoot it down like
we don't
that?
have parks and museums
That's
right near there.
4.5, right? Isn't it 4.5 billion?
A lower
4.5
budget.
to 5
It'd be
Yeah.
a lower.
Although we do have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Science Center there.
If you had $10 billion, and
Listen.
wait a minute, and Jimmy came to you and said, "I want to build a $4 billion stadium downtown, but I want you to go half with me," would you do it?
Depends on how much I get back.
50% of everything.
I would rather do the Brook Park place.
I'm sure you would.
I would.
I would too.
I mean, it's
Because you own everything.
you own everything. Like, they don't want to put a dome where the current stadium is. Like, they don't want to do that. Like, it's sort of like a leveraging tactic. The dome is going to be in Brook Park. They're not going to put a dome on the lakefront. Number one, you got to level that thing. You can't just. No one has ever put a roof on an existing
you
building.
couldn't.
No, you
Yes.
can't. You got to take the whole
You have
thing
to take
down.
the whole thing down and start over. So where are you going to put the team for the next 4 or 5 years?
Columbus, Ohio.
Well, that ain't going to fly. So it's just like it's
They could get
it's
100
either the
they could
current
get
location.
105 in there.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
It's either the current location with the massive renovation and no roof,
That's pointless.
or Brook Park. Like, those are the options.
Well, you could do it somewhere else in Cleveland in theory.
In theory, but they don't want to. They want Brook Park, or if they have to, they'll stay where they're
Why?
at. Because they got 176 acres. They're going
They're
to.
looking for a handout.
It's Jimmy's World. Well, so is Chicago. Chicago, that's not going to be. And by the way, before we go any farther, I agree they should pay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Chicago, pay for the whole thing. Cleveland, pay for the
yeah.
whole thing.
Are they going
The owner.
to?
They're not going to. Yeah. But that's not.
Hi,
reality.
wait,
That's
Chicago got this passed?
No.
No, I don't think they're
No.
going to.
Oh, okay. I was about
I
to
mean,
say.
they were bringing pastors out trying to get God's blessing. That's how pessimistic they are on getting public money for that.
That was embarrassing.
$4.5 billion stadium. Think about that. Chicago, what the Browns are trying to do is half the price of what Chicago is talking about doing.
Well, it's more everything's more expensive in Chicago.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. $4.5 billion. And I didn't see, is it a retractable or is it?
It looked like.
I didn't think it did. I thought it looked.
It looked like an open air dome where the one end zone
Kind of
has
like
a
Dallas.
cutout.
Well, that's what Minnesota does. Minnesota's
And
got
Dallas, too, right? Don't they have an
I've never
open?
been to Dallas. I don't know.
On TV, it looks like.
Dallas, there is an open air component, but it's not a big open. It's like a slit around the stadium that
Yeah,
allows
oh,
fresh
all
air to come in. This looked like it had a view to the skyline from
Right.
one end zone. It
Yeah.
actually looks beautiful, but
Yeah, I mean it's phenomenal.
What you talking about? Brook Park?
No one has ever said Brook Park is phenomenal.
Even the people that live there?
Even the people who live there have never said. Anyway, no, that rendering and Minnesota are
Do you
phenomenal.
think that will pass?
No.
I don't know. It depends on what they ask for. I saw something. I haven't done a ton on the Chicago
That
thing,
is nice.
but I
man.
saw that they kept stressing it's no public dollars or no news tax or something. I don't remember what
Their owner's
It
rich.
shouldn't be
hook
taxes.
was.
If they use
Well,
the money
not rich,
from
yeah, of course
gambling
he is.
and stuff like that, I don't care. It shouldn't be. There should never be new taxes.
I said that we said that for the
Yeah.
Browns stadium.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with
Yeah.
that.
With gambling and marijuana.
Or
that-
making estate taxes so only rich people
If
have to
it's-
pay
I might
taxes.
look into this just across
gambling
the
and
NFL.
marijuana. Shoot, it'd be paid for next year.
Kansas City already shot down a ballot issue. Mm-hmm. Cleveland's trying to figure out funding. Chicago now is trying to figure out funding. Like, this is the new thing in the NFL.
Right.
Everybody wants these new stadiums.
Because they want to host
How do
Super
you pay
Bowl.
for it? How do you pay for it?
Yeah. Well, the owners have the money to pay for it. Most of them do. I don't know about the Bears owner. I'm not. sure about
$4.5 billion is a woo,
Yeah. Well, Jimmy Haslam is
Oh,
a
he
billionaire.
10 times over.
Yeah, so he could afford to pay for the whole thing himself.
Is the dude for not the Bulls,
Bears.
the Bears? He got money
don't-
like
I don't
that.
know.
I have no idea.
I don't know his
I mean,
history.
if he owns a team in Chicago, he's got to be
That's
pretty
true.
rich. But
it's
I don't
family
know.
owned. It's the
Yeah.
Gale family. What's the
Oh, it's not McCaskey anymore.
McCaskey.
Okay.
I'm trying to see their net worth.
Who knows?
Jason, is this possible? Could do something like what Chicago has in the rendering in Brook Park? Like, is
No.
that similar to what they want?
They gotta build it.
No, it's
they
not
gotta
gonna look like that.
They gotta.
It's not on
They
a
gotta
lakefront.
dig
It's not gonna
down.
look like that.
I'm talking about the structure. The
You
structure
mean
of the
just
building.
the building, Mike?
They still gotta dig
Just
down.
in general, is that the vision you think that Haslam's have for Brook Park
Yeah.
if they were to go out there?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna look like that.
Now, again, you're not going to have the museums around it. It's not going to look so sad.
There's nothing else
Compared to
there.
what we just
That's
saw.
funny.
It's
You
not
gotta
going to be
build-
like
You
Chicago.
got to build it up. Like where
No,
Progressive Field is now
Yeah.
That's funny.
and where the arena is now, that was all just rundown blight
I know,
25,
but
30
it's not
years
like
ago.
the stuff around the stadium is that
I don't
nice
like-
even now.
You got to build it up.
Why you say that? Like,
Yeah, but it's
it
not going to
looks
look
so
like that.
sad.
I'm saying Mike said it's going to be like
there's no-
Chicago. It's not going to look
no,
like Chicago.
There's no water and there's not going to be.
You
There's
got
no water,
You
there's
got
no parks,
You
there's
got
no
a
museums.
picture.
I'm talking about the structure.
You're going to have
the-
chain restaurants and hotels.
No,
That's
you
what
got
have.
you got a picture. They gonna make it like a stadium with like a mini mall.
Yeah, it'll be
It's like
it'll be
a
Crocker
mall.
Park with a stadium. That's what it'll be.
Yeah,
kind of like Glendale.
it's
Which
pretty.
is not what you have in Chicago.
I'm just talking.
They
about
got
the
a
structure.
lake. They got a lake for it. The lake always makes it 10 times better.
Yes, it does.
But they also have beautiful museums. They also have
They
parks.
can build some museums right
They're
there.
not going to
Brook
build
Park.
museums.
Park museums.
We have and by the way, for those who don't take advantage of it, we have a lot of beautiful museums in Cleveland.
That's
The
true.
Rock and Roll Hall of
In
Fame is
University-
right next to
no, but
the
even
stadium.
like in University
There
Heights.
Art museums, the free one is beautiful.
Yeah.
Out in University Heights.
There is some incredible architecture in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely
Severance Hall.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The art museum, the natural history museum is great.
Yep.
And we got a great zoo too. But
I used
anyway,
to take my.
but it's not going to
kids
look
to that
like
all the
Chicago. No, but
Well,
the building could.
Yeah.
the building itself.
I'm talking about
could.
the building.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
We got some super chats to wrap up the
Beautiful.
show with, and then we're going to do some NFL draft preview to end the show, then into overtime. But a couple super chats. Hit the button. I didn't need to hit the button, so I got to hit it again to end it.
Let's hit the button.
First one comes from Skilly. And shout out to Skilly. It was a very generous super chat.
Where you been, Skilly? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Skilly.
He still watches every day. Don't worry. Skilly's still an OG day one. He says, sucks I wasn't able to make the show yesterday. I was stuck in training, but congratulations on 500 episodes. Also, that was the best episode. Love you guys. Keep up the great work. Congratulations on 500. You guys are the best.
Thank you,
Skilly,
Skilly.
we appreciate that. Our Hood Opinion says, Bull, you should link up with Jay and do some breakdowns on the Ultimate Guardian show.
Well, Jay could do the pitching. Yeah, that's true.
Charles
All right, we'll try
T.
to do it.
Charles T has two. We also have to figure out if legally we can show baseball footage.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem too. And
We
also,
got,
Mike.
we got clearance for basketball.
Yeah.
We're still working on
Also,
clearance for baseball.
also, Mike is really good. Like he knows how to do all this editing and stuff. I don't know how to do that type of stuff.
Yeah,
so I
that's
need
true.
somebody to help me with that type of thing.
And it's not like we have enough work already.
it's
and helping
extremely
Bull with that
time
would be,
consuming.
Yeah.
Why the football team won't let us do editing? All right.
Go ahead. What else,
Say it
Mike?
again, Tyvis?
Can we show film in the fall now? for
When we
football?
do it on WKYC upstairs. Yes.
It's the NFL.
That's all right, because the difference between me and everybody else is I can pull out a whiteboard and pull it and still get it
Damn
done.
right.
That is true. We got two from Charles T. He says, first, Cleveland City officials suck. I've been paying taxes since 95. Potholes haven't changed.
Oh, my
Public
God.
schools haven't changed. Lakefront, no change. Downtown, no change. He also says the only time we have had change is thanks to Dan Gilbert and LeBron bringing in money. City always gets let off the hook. I don't mind paying taxes for a stadium because I will see something actually get done.
Some of the potholes
That's
on
true.
these side streets.
You gotta,
Yeah.
I about lost the bumper off my car.
I don't find the potholes to be
you
bad.
gotta, down.
And by the way, that's completely unfair. The city of Cleveland is way better than it was when I first moved here.
Earl, no.
It's been upgraded big time and looks much nicer than it used to.
Earl, don't we be
that's not
switching, we
fair.
be swerving them lanes all the way when you ride
Some
down
of
them
those
streets.
streets-
You gotta
Big swerve all the time, man.
Between St. Clair and
Yeah.
Lakeside here, some of those side streets are.
Hey, Earl, where are you? Why am I the only one defending the city here? You're Mr. 216. Let's go. How about some?
But no, because Tyvis is right. See, like on the east side, like in the hood, it's a whole bunch of potholes.
Yeah, you a west
You got to
side
be
man.
swerving it all the time. Like on the west side, like over there, Bull, the streets is paved all the time.
That's not Cleveland. I'm talking about downtown. I wasn't talking about the west side.
Downtown streets ain't all that great either.
Come
They're
with me.
fine.
Oh, they're awful.
Mike Polk did a story,
Yeah.
I think it was last year, and he went and gave awards for the best potholes in Cleveland. He went around and took nominations from like Facebook or whatever and went around and he crowned the
Right.
best
Okay, the
pothole.
potholes, fine, but he's saying nothing's improved in the city. The city is way better than it was 15 years ago.
Overall, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's not fair.
Thanks
Look
to-
what they've done down in the flats.
Thanks to LeBron.
The
Thanks to
flats
me.
was a disaster area when I moved here.
And then I moved here and it all went up. Up and up.
Go ahead.
The
What's
flats
next?
was the place 20 years ago. That's
Yeah.
when
Somebody died.
And then it went
people
completely
kept falling in the
downhill.
river.
No, I said
People
somebody
got
died
drunk
in the
and fell in the
river.
river.
That's their
Shut it down. Then they brought it back.
What, Earl?
Dove in there.
Next,
Thought
Mike.
they could swim to the other side.
That was the last super chat. We're gonna talk draft in overtime, but let's get one draft topic. Actually, no, we'll do Guardians for 5 minutes. This is unplanned, unprepared, but we'll talk draft at the end. The Guardians are the second best record in baseball.
No, they're
I
the
thought
best.
they
record.
had the best.
No, they lost. They're second now.
To who?
No.
The
I will
Yankees?
confirm. I just saw this tweet from Hayden Grove. That's what I was going off of.
The Braves are 17 and
The
6.
Braves are.
Yeah, the Braves have the best record in baseball.
Oh, they do. You're right. They're 17 and 6. I mean,
So if they win today,
Yeah.
and the Braves lose, they will be back on top.
right.
The Braves and the Guardians start a 3-game set this weekend.
Ooh.
How much of a measuring stick test will this be
Nope.
for said Guardians?
Go ahead,
Nope.
Jason.
Too early?
It's April. Ain't no measuring stick games in baseball in April.
That's right.
Tyvis, what do you think?
It'll be
As
fun
the baseball
series.
expert on the panel, what say you?
If the Guardians beat the Braves this weekend, how would I feel? Is that what you saying?
Yeah, is it a measuring stick for the Guardians? To get
In other words,
a real
Tyler
measuring test?
was not paying attention.
No, I was listening. No, because right now the pitching ain't what it's supposed to be right now, and I still think that that's gonna get better. And if it is a trade, which they do need a trade for pitching. It's hard to that changes a lot. Everybody knows that pitching changes a lot. Obviously, I would expect them to hit well against them because they've been hitting good. I think you can use that as a measuring stick, but the pitching is not where it's supposed to be. So I wouldn't call it that. It's
Well,
too
you
early.
can't
in
pick
the
and
season.
choose what the measuring stick
I'm
is.
calling.
You can't say one part is and one part
I
isn't.
am. The hitting has happened over the course. See, the pitching's been up and down even over this early part of the season. So I can't gauge exactly where we are as a pitching staff. But hitting has been this for the majority of this early season. So I can say that they're a good hitting
In a
team.
lot of ways,
Thank you very much.
in a lot of ways,
baseball expert Tyvis Powell has
baseball
spoken.
baseball is similar to basketball, where success against a team in the regular season doesn't prove anything in the postseason. The difference and why baseball is way better than basketball in the regular season is that even though they've expanded, it's still only 6 out of 15 teams make the playoffs, as opposed to 10 out of 15. And so you've got to play well to make the playoffs. You can't be, for the most part, you can't be a bad team and make the playoffs, which you can in the NBA.
Yeah.
And unlike the basketball, the teams that make the playoffs on the bottom end usually have no shot of winning. Whereas in baseball, no matter who you are, any team that makes the playoffs can win the World Series. But you don't know. The pitching matchups are different than they would be in the playoffs.
I agree with that, actually.
So-
I don't think there is such a thing as a measuring
No.
stick game in series in baseball
Not really, no.
because
Because the pitching matchups, especially because the pitching matchups, first of all, you're going to manage games differently in the playoffs than you do in the regular season, just like you do in the
Bullpen
NBA.
usage, yeah.
But also, the pitching matchups are not set up. Like
Right.
the Braves' best pitcher, like the Guardians, is out for the year, but their next best pitcher is Max Fried. Well, he's not pitching in this series. They're pitching Morton and Sale, who are their second and third best pitchers, and then Bryce Elder, who just came up and made his first start of the year.
We also never actually gave our official picks for Game 3 tonight. Cavs Magic, who you got?
Cavs easily. You got 12 minutes before the Guardians game start. Make sure you
Yep. take
take the over on McKenzie's strikeouts. Go ahead.
What is it, 4.5?
I think it's 5.5.
that's
Has he had over 5.5 strikes? It's one game,
last
I think, or
game.
more.
I think his last game he did.
Yeah, that was against the minor league lineup, though.
Yeah,
You picking the Cavs or the Magic tonight?
Magic.
Such a hater.
I'm picking the Magic, too. That's not fair.
what's
Don't call
wrong?
somebody a hater.
Oh, I'm used to it.
That's not right. You're better than that,
I'm
Tyvis.
used to it. I think Cavs win the series.
Yeah, I
think
do,
Orlando
too.
wins
But
tonight.
even though I picked the Magic, to win the
Cavs
series,
is
like
going
a
to win
dope.
tonight, take the next game off, then close it out in Cleveland.
See, I think the Cavs are going to lose tonight, win Game 4, win Game 5.
You gotta demoralize. Get it out of there. Y'all are done.
Well, it is. They win tonight.
You're done.
That's it.
But we want to chill.
Really show you something if the Cavs
we
win tonight.
We want to celebrate on our home court, so we ain't gonna do y'all that bad. You JB's boy, so we ain't gonna do you that bad.
First 5 minutes to tell you who's going to win the game, and I don't ever say that, but I think tonight.
Yeah, that's not usually the case in the NBA.
But Orlando is made the start such a point of emphasis.
First basket of the game.
If they get off to a good start, that's
By
huge
the way,
for
what
them.
did you think of LeBron and the Lakers gagging that game to Denver and then him whining about the officials after? That was embarrassing for LeBron.
He gets these things where he gets these things stuck in his head,
Yeah.
and he didn't even like he just wanted to talk about that. He didn't even come close to. He knew it was. They said it was the
10
last
seconds.
question, so he just went off on that tangent. But
All right, we'll see you at overtime. We're talking NFL draft.
Parlay McKenzie and Donovan Mitchell first basket Cavs.